we started the last session. You guys were still on the boat with your captain, Rad Wave Crash. Well,
Yeah.
on the boat, you guys looked for some land to try to be able to make land onto the swaddled lands. Eventually, I do believe it was Illumio who saw a little bit of a building, and you guys were able to find a dock where you guys could make landfall. Here, you found a abandoned town, but you found no signs of damage or destruction. Similar, I'm sorry, not similar. Unlike the recent town you were at before, this one seemed willingly or abandoned, though very old. Inside the tavern, well, actually, leading up to the tavern, you guys tried to sneak in, and Kane put his foot through the floor and took a board to the face. Yanrick came to try to help him and also put his foot through the floor and took a board to the face. You guys were able to make it inside safely somehow against your mortal enemy, the boards, which you found a journal which gave you some information. Then you also found the map leading to the spire. Upstairs, TJ felt a calling where he went upstairs and found a skeleton, a corpse, where you cast Speak with the Dead to get some questions. During your conversation, you were interrupted where you identified that Brava, the goddess of death and freedom, had taken over the corpse to answer your questions and to give you a little more guidance. After answering your questions, you gave the skeleton a proper burial and you headed on. Here you found a similar place to Yanrick, Kane, and Illumio, a small cavern where a giant battle took place.
Mirroring.
Thank
and,
you.
And it was a canyon, not a cannon.
You're right.
Cannon.
Where there was a giant battle. Here you saw a dwarf fighting the dwarf named Brega, who you were supposed to find. At first, Illumio appeared as a skeleton,
The guy we found in the tavern.
thinking that he was also a skeleton, but quickly discovered he was not, dropping his illusion. Then, Illumio also was a little confused about the spire and asked some questions about how potentially to destroy the spire, causing more confusion among Brega. Luckily, you guys talked it out, and he led you safely through his path, where you found more of his scouting party. With Brega, you learned that if you die in the Swaddled Lands, the frozen wastelands, you will be risen as a soldier for the Mother. You know that the outpost, the spire, there's a field of some sort that prevents people from being risen. Luckily, you guys are able to make it to the spire no problem, where you ran into an old friend, Alpha, the giant hulking warforged. He guided you through the town, and I'm laughing at just Felix licking his plate.
Yeah.
Alpha guided you to the town where you found a church where beautiful elven music captivated Illumio, and him and TJ had a moment. Eventually, you guys made your way into the spire where you met Zero, another Warforged that you kind of met, but this time in a more face-to-face situation, in which she introduced Oda, the Empress of the Rodel Empire. And that is where we'll start our episode.
But I'm just gonna leave real quick to get some more food because
Bro's licking his plate clean.
Okay, how about give me 5 minutes, Felix? Just something's coming.
Yeah.
Something's coming, and I want you to be here for it. So, out steps Oda in front of you. Flanking behind her, you see a older man dressed in like clerical robes, perhaps probably a priest. And then another person steps out, a human-looking buff in plate armor, maybe a knight of some kind. And then thirdly steps out a half-elf wizard. And I think I'll need some help. Jay, can you please join the call and introduce your character? Him and I have been sitting in Discord for 45 minutes.
Ayo!
Hey, what's going on? Oh my god, no way.
No way!
Chris pulled a me.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Anything.
I've just been chilling
I didn't hear
Discord for
anything.
45 minutes.
Let's go! Dude!
I didn't hear anything, so yeah. What's up?
What's up? Long time no see. How you been?
Hey.
I missed all your beautiful faces. Oh
So
man.
awesome!
Man, it was good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the half elf. He is a slender but not so frail, athletic build. 5'11", pale skin tone, red eyes, crimson eyes that glow faintly in low light. His hair is jet black, messy but somehow deliberate. Long dark cloak with crimson accents. Why can't I remember the name of these things? I wrote it down. A fitted high collar tunic of deep charcoal beneath the cloak. Fingerless gloves, that's what I was looking for. With crimson stitching and crimson sash around his waist. Oh, and it has like a chain wrapped around his hand with some black, reddish stone. Okay. His arms are just in his sleeves, I guess. Yeah, while he's behind.
Perfect. Yeah, we planned this all today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Man, all I want to do is get caught up with Jay, and now we're gonna RP as our characters
Yeah,
and not
dude,
know what's
this
going
is-
on with Jay at all.
This is
Yeah.
blasphemous, dude.
But hey, I'm back. I'm back, so I will be around
Okay.
more, so we can talk.
Amazing.
Heck yeah.
That is so
Heck
exciting.
yeah,
I'm so
dude.
excited.
I'm so stoked, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked.
I'm happy you all appreciated the surprise. Because originally I was just gonna come in and be like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And potentially I didn't tell you this, Chris, but I was like, maybe I'll just RP stupid NPCs or villains or enemies just for fun. But he's like, "Oh, why don't you just play?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, that makes more sense." Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I have a cool way to introduce you.
Dude, let's go. Erwin is staring at this guy and it's like, he's gorgeous.
Felix, if you want to go get more food,
Yeah.
you can.
I'm glad you told me to wait.
I didn't want you to miss this review.
Yeah.
He
just
came
come
back and
back.
sat down, and Jay's just
What
here.
isn't it? He's
Like,
literally here.
we don't even say anything.
Oh man.
Dude, this is so awesome.
So what I was
Heck yeah.
thinking as the DM, I figured we haven't seen Jason in a minute. We could spend some time catching up, and then when we take our break, we'll come back and play. If we wanted to.
I'm good. I'm good for whatever you guys want to do, Jay. If
Yeah,
you want to
like-
hop right back into it, you tell me. I'm at your beck and call. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm
the
happy
word.
with whatever we do.
Oh, Chris,
I
you put
want
this
art.
song on. How dare you?
I definitely want to RP. I've been missing RP for a while.
The part he left out was RP with Jason. He doesn't really care about the rest of you. It's just with me.
But he gets. Hey, I'm a player in this campaign too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. It is a special
gotta-
moment.
That's true.
Roll 20.
Yeah. I was like, we can't have you join Roll20 because that will give it
Dude,
away.
oh, this is so amazing. Hold on, I'm gonna get another slice of pizza in party.
I'm just glad.
Amazing.
I was just like, yeah, I'll call you on Discord, and you just listen to it. And then he listened to us talk about video games for 45 minutes, and I was like, all right, we'll just
Yeah,
play
You
at
were, you were
7:45.
sharing your audio, so you heard everything we said. That's so funny.
Yeah. I was like, this is a conversation I could really be in, but I have to wait.
I was like, you could join. You could join them.
Oh man! And eventually, I will upload this session, and Chris, you can watch back all of our reactions when you invited Jay in. Actually, and Jay will get to see what our reactions were as well.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh man! So you planned this today? Like,
Yeah.
So what? So obviously we're waiting for Jason to come back with his pizza. But what's going on, Jay?
Well, I've been very busy. So like since when my mom was in the hospital, I kind of decided to take every job ever, and like gonna give me a lot of free time, obviously. But I wanted to keep myself busy, so I didn't have to think about it. But when she came back, I still had all of the gigs I took and the jobs, so I couldn't just be like, "Oh, I'm good. Let me go back into the world of uh, D&D."
Having free time.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, but I've caught up on everything. I finished the play I was in. I wasn't acting. I was playing music. Uh, and yeah, I broke up with my girlfriend. That's another thing. Uh,
Oof.
I started playing with a lot of different bands. It's mostly just work stuff. So much that's been happening in my life, and my mom. It's more sad things that I don't want to get into, but
Sure.
yeah, I'm just really happy to be back. I've missed you guys for a while, and it's like a part of me that was like, I don't know, the music's swelling up. It's interesting, but a part of me was just like feeling some form of shame for like, I've been gone for so long. Maybe I shouldn't even come back at all. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I want to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm excited. How are you guys? Even though like as quickly as you can, because I want to play.
All
And
the
then
same, all
break.
is well.
Felix, go first. You have nothing going on.
Exactly. I have nothing going on. I'm on break from work for like the next few months. So, yeah.
My vacation starts tomorrow. I have 16 days off, and I'm excited to be playing some D&D. And it is, you have absolutely no idea how good it is that you're back, to all of us. And I know that every other person shares that sentiment with me. I hope that you're back for good and that you stay with us and play with us, because we have missed you immensely for all this time.
Yeah, I should be 100%. Like, I all the gigs I accepted are all done. So
Awesome.
I'm
Well,
here to
at least we
stay.
made some money.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
Amazing.
I'm happy to hear that things are going better.
Yeah. Got my license, so I'm trying to get a car now
Ooh,
as well.
fun.
Oh, maybe he's driving us to Tim's
Yeah,
next
maybe
year.
next time I'll do the driving.
Wow.
There's some other stuff that I'm probably forgetting. I'm just excited.
Well,
to be here.
we'll catch up. We know you want a game, and we want a game too.
During
so-
break when Tim's gone, we can talk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk
That's
about
right,
all the really important stuff.
I can watch it back later. It's fine.
That's true.
Oh yeah, we got
conversation.
Big Brother watching everything. He's
Mhm.
recording everything.
Tim's
just-
brother, not
I
Tim's
edit
brother.
out the breaks. I probably won't edit this out of the VOD that I upload unless you
Book
don't
more
want
version.
me to. But I mean, or unless you want me to, rather.
No, dude,
Keep it in.
he's like Jake, you join the call, and Jay joins the call. We're all like, and then there's this crazy cut.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
we're all getting ready to freak out.
Yeah.
and
Only
then Jay's
epic in
like-
our minds.
And and then Jay is like, and yes, that's my backstory. And then we're all like, oh, great.
I'm sad that Alex isn't here as well, but
yeah.
He's watching Sonic 3 with his kids. Don't be sad. Yeah.
it's a. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he's
see it.
having
I'm gonna
he's
see it
having a
tomorrow,
ball.
so I'm happy
But-
with that.
He did say he might make it like towards.
Oh yeah, if I get to
Do
see
you-
him, I'll be very happy.
Jay, do you go to the Alamo in downtown Brooklyn?
I've gone. I haven't. But it's not like a regular thing. No.
I love the Alamo.
I have mixed feelings. about
Alamo,
it.
Texas.
We had the Alamo here in Kalamazoo for a long time. I even worked there. It was a good time.
Okay. All right.
It's-
Okay.
I just it's crazy. It's nuts.
I know,
I don't remember. I don't remember if I broke Lockheed down before coming in here.
I'm pretty sure you've been in him the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because Alpha thought you were a giant warforged.
Yes, that's
too.
right. You're right. Okay.
So, as far as we know, you haven't said that you are yourself.
I'm
so
breaking him down. Right.
You're in this giant throne room, and you're just in your um mech suit. So Jason, if you could do me a favor, what's the name of your character?
You call,
So
Oh, sorry.
you're calling me
Jay.
Jason. It's
Okay.
Jay, what's the name of your character?
Soren.
Sol Soren.
Yeah. SOLSORREN. This is all last minute.
No, dude. I'm sure it's great.
Perfect. All right. How exciting.
He's an elf, right?
A half elf, right?
Half
Yeah.
elf.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're all here, and I hope Alex could join us, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that worked out. So, yes, behind the Empress, you see these three potentially advisors, people of power, maybe extra bodyguards. You don't know, but there's these three people standing behind the Empress, and she speaks out. She goes, "It's good to see you all again. I'm assuming you were successful in getting the dagger?"
Something like that. We have it. It was a journey. A couple of our folks got lost, but we do have it in our possession.
Perfect. That is good to hear. Seems you've survived an encounter with the mother as well.
I don't know.
Surprisingly, not as murderous as I thought she was.
I don't know that I mean, I suppose it was an encounter. It was more of a brush off and a show of her complete and utter inadequacy as a person and as a person of evil and in her beliefs. But yes, an encounter.
You see the cleric speaks up. What makes you say that?
What makes me say that it was an encounter, or what makes me say that she's a complete and utter disassembled mess?
The latter.
She has ideals but isn't willing to expound on them. I offered her my life and that, quite frankly, that of my companions, and because I was saying that she is all-powerful, that she created all things, and of course, what are we but small cockroaches? Cockroaches for her to simply step on and move on with her day. But she instead offered us her champion to face, which we dealt with quite swiftly, I might say, and that we maybe gained access to continue our mission, which is to stop her, which she understands and is accepting of, because she basks in the glory of our failure, which she assumes will come inevitably. And I said, let's just cut to the chase. And she said, I'd rather watch you squirm, which I find quite pathetic.
She is an egotistical one. She is confident in her ability. I'm sure she will have a plan for you. Or, if not, already has a plan for you.
Oh, by the way, I don't believe that introductions have been made. My name is Illumio Vendasia. These are my companions. We are companions, rather. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
I am High Cleric Rayan.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but Rayan?
Rayan.
Oh, I did pronounce it correctly. Okay.
Yes, High Cleric Rayan. Here, and he points to the knight, is Lord Redthorn. And over here is our highest
High
student.
Wizard.
Yes,
High
High Wizard.
Soul Soren.
Yeah.
A pleasure.
I don't know about you guys, but I like that wizard.
And you are the personal bodyguards of Ota?
we are just her advisors. We are not necessarily her bodyguards.
Whatever she needs, we accomplish.
All right.
Sense. I'm Erwin Laststone. It is an event to be making your acquaintance.
I elbow Yanrick.
And as yeah, I'm Yanrick Woodfellow, and I give a polite bow. Royal, his idea of a polite bow to royalty.
I look at TJ like,
Oddly quiet, TJ.
I heard that Alpha speaks up. I heard him say something about a vow of silence for some time for today.
for at least a few hours.
Yes.
Yeah,
That sounds like him.
period of silence, indeterminate length.
Something about praying to his god, Theta.
He does it from time to time.
And I am Cade Voidfall. I do apologize for my appearance. Had I known that I was coming to a royal court, I might have cleaned myself up.
Would we all like to describe ourselves really quick for Jay's sake?
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
that's what I was just about to ask. So we'll go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Since I brought it up, I'll go first. So you see this gnome with blonde hair, and he's wearing like this nice blue suit, cloak kind of situation. It's closer to a suit, but he's sitting inside of basically a Big Daddy from BioShock, except instead of like the scuba diver helmet, it's just this clear glass pane. But the rest of it looks very similar in nature, just more like polished silver, clean. And he's got his hands on two handles from the inside. His voice is currently coming through speakers on the sides of the mech.
Sweet.
I'll go next, I guess. Lumio is basically Iron Man, but all silver and designed more so like a suit of armor. So he is he's a robot man person. He's a Warforged, right? But basically just looks like a suit of armor, but there's no actual person inside of there. And so he just has like the slits for eyes. He does have a red, like billowing cloak behind him, and he has this weird little like feathered tuft that comes off the top like it would on a knight's helmet. That's pretty much it.
I'll go. Kane looks like he hasn't washed in like at least a month. He's really dirty, old trench clothes, and a messed up breastplate beneath it, a bunch of different trinkets, and a magical necklace.
So he's Louise. Gotcha.
Yeah, with less green.
Less green. And Yanrick is young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, 20-year-old adventurer boy. He's been doing this a couple years. You can see a little bit of wear on his equipment, but it still looks relatively new. He's got your standard armor and clothes, adventure gear, a shield, and an axe at his side, shorter brown hair, just a young fellow who still sees light in the world and has not yet had to learn otherwise.
Yes.
Perfect. And then I don't remember TJ's full description, so we'll let that be handled when Alex gets here.
DJ looks like DJ. That's it.
Yeah. He just looks like what you imagine TJ to look like. Oda replies back to what you said, Kane. It's no worries. I don't think our circumstances call for normal royal procedures. I think given the circumstances of being on an outpost, all procedures can be forgotten for now. Tell me, when you say that she let you pass because she wants you to succeed, or
She wants us to have the feeling of succeeding before she wrenches it from our cold, dead fingers as she laughs in the wake of destruction that she wages upon our heads.
interesting?
Can I insight check her?
Yeah, absolutely. First roll of the night.
Big
You know
old
what?
7.
Yeah, an insight check. Okay. I was gonna say an insight check sounds pretty good, but now that I know the number, it feels like cheating, so I'm not gonna do that.
I guess. What are you trying to insight? Like, just kind of her general.
What are her intentions with asking us these questions?
With a 7, you're talking to a empress. You're talking to someone who's been in royal dealings and high conversations. She has, without a doubt, one of the best like poker faces. So you're just you can't really pick up what she's trying to.
I'm not picking up what she's putting down.
Yeah. Yep. Or like what she's trying to maybe ask about. She goes, I fear that you being here is not a good sign for this outpost. I'm sure the mother will respond in kind.
Well, to be completely honest with you, I think the mother knows exactly what we were intending on doing, and I wouldn't be surprised if she knew exactly where we are at this very moment, and the words that we're saying, her being her omnipotent self as she is. But the truth of the matter is, we do have a solution to drawing the ire of her eye to this settlement. We were told to come here, and we would be sent to the crystal. I look around at the rest of the group to make sure that what I just said was correct.
I'm remembering correctly, that is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, on one hand... oh, go ahead.
And didn't Brava say that we would be protected from the mother for a bit as well?
Oh, 24 hours, in fact.
Right. Yeah.
How long has it been?
That's a ticking clock. I'd say it's been about, what, 3-4 hours?
Yeah, just about.
So we're on a timer.
So,
So-
disregard everything I just said. We have complete and total protection. She can't see what we're doing. She can't access us.
Wait.
Has no clue.
We do. I'm not sure about the rest, though.
Right. I mean, theoretically, the rest of them, this conversation could still be observed if you're only getting it. I mean, one side of it could maybe put together the pieces, but if it's something like, I don't know, a scry, they're probably not able to hear the other side of the conversation. But, again, they're a god. Well, we don't really know what their capabilities are, but we're going to try our best.
I think Illumio was right, though. Even without maybe being able to see us, she would know what we're trying to do and eventually, ultimately, where we're trying to go.
You there, Soul, was it? You don't,
Yes.
by any chance, have the unique ability to see invisible things, do you?
Is that something that my character would have? As a
It's a
no.
spell. It's a spell called See Invisibility.
Then no, that is not my specialty.
Does anyone here have the ability to see invisibility?
I do. I push everything into Lockheed, so I don't really have much.
Might not be a bad idea to take a look around with such a profound meeting as the one we find ourselves in.
Does Your Highness possibly have anybody who is specialized in such a task?
No, but I have a better idea. And she kind of steps down from the higher step that she's been kind of standing on. Follow me, and she leads you to the room to a door to the right, and she goes, Lord Knight and High Cleric, please prepare the spire. I do believe we will have company soon. Soul, please join me.
Yes.
And you see the High Cleric goes, as you wish, Empress. And the knight doesn't really say a word, just kind of nods and heads out. They both kind of head back, kind of the direction they came. She goes, I believe we can meet in my study where prying eyes will not be visiting us. Alpha, Zero, guard the door. And her two Warforged bodyguards, they're like, Alpha, yeah, we'll do it. And Zero kind of, whatever.
Job's done.
And then you guys come into.
Is the doorway wide enough for Lockheed to get through, and I gotta break him down?
You do have to break it down. It's about a normal
Okay.
sized doorway. But you see that she, on her own doorway, knocks near the handle 3 times. And it opens, into a room. It's got a circular table with about 10 seats, and all across the wall are different books of all different kinds of studies of magic, holy magic. Just from what you can tell, like you've looked at books before, you can recognize some popular ones.
Yeah.
Fizz
read here and
bangs,
there.
explosive magic. Several books about the heroes, the legendary heroes, the heroes, the heroes. Just all the different
Right. Tasha's
republications.
Cauldron of everything.
Yeah. Terry taught her, the boy,
Harry Totter.
the boy sorcerer who danced, things like that. Lord of the Hats, all the classics.
Lord of the Hats.
But as you guys walk in, you feel as if when you walk in, it's almost like you through kind of like a bubble of something. Like you feel not like resistance, but you feel something push over you. And as you all kind of enter the room, she goes, being an empress, I have learned that many people like to spy on me. So I've created rooms where if you enter, your invisibility is cured. It is a minor dispel magic in a way. But it is powerful. It can dispel any invisibility, but it can only dispel invisibility.
All right.
Well,
I'm
Well,
looking
it's better than
around
nothing.
to see if there's anything that's popped up.
You're able to, being that it's a mostly open room, you kind of look around and nothing pops. No one shows up suddenly.
Some guy in the corner like,
I reattach Lockheed around my neck.
Yadrik turns around and there's just been an invisible face on the back of his head this entire time.
unwrap my turban.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Because of what Yadrik did, you see an invisible hellfire tattoo appear onto the back of his neck.
Whoa.
Yeah, from the little bit
Yeah.
of time that he spent in a fiery
Marked.
place.
I've been marked.
Does
The 6 seconds.
does Illumio notice anything on himself or otherwise?
Nope. You. All jokes aside, you guys don't notice any true marks, and you can even, if you want, actually, everyone give me a perception check just to, pat yourself down.
Erwin's looking around and is like, man, I've been in Lockheed for so long now. I was kind of getting used to seeing you all eye to eye.
I'll crouch down to him. It's
Wow.
okay, buddy.
19 and
No way. I'm gonna go punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
17 to hit.
That's a miss.
That's a
That
miss.
is a miss.
That's a miss. I do 0 damage anyway.
I get up too quickly.
Yeah.
That's what somebody said.
Edit. Let me just do this correctly. Oh, nope.
The patterns that Roll20 has
That
for
is a hit.
profile pictures remind me of like Destiny.
Oh
like call
yeah,
signs,
yeah.
right? Like the hunter logos and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I see
Jay,
it.
can you go ahead and just roll again? I just want to see if it imports correctly this time, so that way you have correct control of your character.
No, yeah. For the rest of us, it says the character name.
He might have to relog for its to
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah. So, but either way, with everybody's role, especially Yanrick's and Irwin's, and Illumino's, nice. Oh no, that's a stray. So with Irwin's and Yanrick's, you guys are able to like look yourselves over, and you don't find any invisible markings, invisible tattoos, visible equipment that's been put on you in any way. And with the high rolls from Irwin and Yanrick, you're able to help like Kane, who gets a little confused, and like he throws his cape to look over, and then he's kind of like a dog under a blanket, and he's like, oh, where am I? Where am I? But you all appear in the room, not appear, but you've checked yourselves out. And Oda speaks up. She goes, I believe that you will be fine if you stay here for tonight. I think if you are trying to make it to the crystal, I will get you there. But our army is stationed there, so I think we'll have to. I think by you being here, that will draw her army this way, giving you a clear shot. But you do not know these lands. So I will send my High Wizard Soul with you. He will help navigate these lands, and he knows where the crystal is.
If it is what you wish.
We've had a number of guides along our way, and we're no stranger to accepting new individuals, so all the help we can receive is more than welcomed, and we appreciate the graces and the kindness of you, Empress. I was under the impression that the crystal was above us. Is that incorrect?
That is our crystal that we use to help protect ourselves. That's not her crystal. Those two separate crystals, two separate purposes.
2 towers.
2 towers.
He froze right as he said that.
He froze.
Oh, that's so good. All right. I don't mean to be a person to shirk amazing hospitality, but we are on a bit of a schedule, as I've mentioned before to others. So, if you don't mind, do you know approximately how far it is, or how long it will take us to get there?
By foot, 3 weeks. But you will not be going by foot.
Rob did mention that somewhere at the top of the tower there is a way to the crystal.
Yes,
Oh.
you will. You will be taking one of our zeppelins.
Full of lead. A lead zeppelin.
No, we apologize. That one's still back in our hometown.
No!
It's on tour. It's a very popular.
It's
zeppelin.
on tour.
It's on tour.
Lots of people come to see it.
A lot of people. A lot of people.
A lot of people come to see it.
Most people you've ever seen.
Nobody's ever seen so many people.
But it will not be ready to launch as we had an incident. The Zeppelin crashed on its way into port. It seems the mother has gotten a little more bold with her attacks. Normally she, perhaps in her egotistical ways or her pride, has left our Zeppelins alone. But just a couple days ago, she started attacking our Zeppelins. And this Zeppelin barely made it to the spire. Lord Redthorn almost died on the Zeppelin. He was able to hold them off, but it came in a little hot, and so it's under repair. So you will need to at least stay a night.
Does it need an extra hand? I could take a look.
We will always welcome help, young adventurer.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a plan. I'll take a look before bed at least.
She goes, I appreciate that. Now, onto the concerning measures. We will make sure that you are well armed. But, as you must know, if you fall out there, you must burn the body. So if we are to give you the Zeppelin and let you venture forth, you must promise to take our vials of fire that you will use in case one of you fall.
It's all well and good. Of course you will. I don't know that my body needs to be burned, but you will probably know better than I do. Is there a captain of this Zeppelin?
Yes, I believe he is still upstairs, watching over his ship.
I have a rather strange request. Does anyone here have the ability for teleportation? Short range teleportate. Well,
How
not that
short?
range. About 3 or 4 hours worth of on-foot travel. That's a little longer than short range, I suppose. And if we had the ability for teleportation, we would need to take the Zeppelin. So I'm guessing the answer is no.
What are you
You would be
trying to
right.
get at?
There's a particular individual who we left behind on a ship down by the dock in the old tavern, or town, rather, who I wouldn't mind having as an extra set of eyes for navigation on our journey there. His name is Rad. Rad Wave Crash.
Huh. I do not know this captain.
A rad name.
Thought he was like
Illumio,
part of the boat and couldn't come off.
yeah, Illumio, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think if we pull him off of the boat, he disintegrates and dies.
Oh,
And I'm pretty sure it's different fly Zeppelin than to pile up a boat.
No, I don't
isn't
even think it's that different.
Isn't he
I
a
just
helm,
think
like for a spelljammer type deal? Or he's literally built into the boat?
I don't know the
his
Spelljammer
like
reference, but
look
like yeah,
down, he
his
is
like
about
he has no legs. Like his chest sticks out from the
He's a
top of the boat.
centaur, except
I-
that being a horse starts the boat
I
float.
don't even
Like I knew
I don't
that.
even-
I just assumed he was a helm from
Yeah.
the Spelljammer setting. So I guess I don't.
I don't
Okay.
even think it has anything to do with a zeppelin and a boat being different. I just think that if you take him off of the boat, he will disintegrate in not even in mechanical terms. I think his brain would just melt from not being on his ship.
As you can see, Great Empress, we had not had a conversation before this moment, and I'm just simply incorrect. So please ignore my ignorance.
It is fine. It's you're just curious people. That is all.
Very curious.
And she sits down, and for the first time, you guys take note. Her cloak that she's been wearing over her shoulders has kind of opened up, and you see like kind of like roguish ranger kind of gear on her. I mean, she's at a war field. She's not dressed in maybe her normal royal presenting clothes. She looks ready for war. On her waist, she has a sword that's sheathed away. And she's able to move freely her right hand, but you notice for the first time that her left hand lies limp um, to her side. You're not her hand though to about her wrist is covered by a glove, and then some bandages leading up her arm. Um, she she leans into her hand and she goes, "I think it's very important that you succeed on your mission. If you can defeat the mother, you will do this world a great favor, and you will do my people a great favor." And she looks at you, Saul. She goes, "Our people are cursed. We When the mother first appeared 200, or I should say, appeared again 200 and so years ago, the Redel Empire took her side. We were a different type of people. We were people who wanted power. And we were very corrupted. Our greed for the riches and the resources of the lands led us on a very dark path. Luckily, Brava, she freed us from that. And so our we serve this as our responsibility, as a force against against the mother. We will do everything in our power, even if it costs all of our lives, to make sure you succeed.
It has already costed many lives thus far.
Oh,
Oh, sorry to hear that. Will that be dealt with after the mother is seen to?
Our curse will always be a part of us. And she points to her red eyes. It is something we'll always have. But our other curses, our other vices, will finally be free. And for the first time, she, since you've maybe spoke with her even from the first time you talked to her, you see her kind of start to wince in pain, and she starts to cough, and you see a little bit of blood on her up here on her hand. And she kind of just looks at it, and she grabs a cloth and kind of like using her thumb wipes it off her hand, and she goes, "The curses affect us all differently. So some of us are cursed with madness. My last high wizard, the wizard before Soul, could hear the mother's voice. Always. He served 200 years as a proud high wizard. Then the voices finally got to him. And now he's somewhere out there in that battlefield, fighting for her." And then she kind of looks at her hand, her limp hand. She goes, "And some of our curses are a little more self-inflicted. So, please, I ask all of you, do not fail in this mission. And in doing so, I will provide what assistance I can. Tonight, get a good rest, enjoy good food, shower, have a good company. We will see that you are well prepared. I will leave you to Soul's company. He will show you to your room that you'll be staying. It's on the second floor. But this way you can diverge a plan. And we'll see you off in the morning." And she gets up and starts to, like, is walking past you.
Thank you so much, Empress, for your gracious hospitality, all you've done for us, and what you will continue to do, as well as providing the aid of one of your finest. We greatly look forward to helping you with all of your suffering that you've been dealing with for so long. I do have a question, though. Is the spire a building?
Yes. Yes, we are in this spire right now.
And
We have to slay it.
are they are there only 2 floors? Because you said we're on the second floor, and we're here, and I'm assuming whatever's on the top floor has the best view of all surrounding, and I wouldn't mind a peek.
So, if you trust them, you can take, after meeting for them, you can take them to the crystal room, to the very top.
He just nods.
And then she is walking out, and she kind of looks back over her shoulder, and she goes, "Do be careful out there. That's all I ask." And she continues forward. And the door shuts again, leaving all of you.
I give her a low bow, even if she can't see me anymore, just out of respect.
She'll will remember that.
Pops up like a Tahteil game.
Yeah.
This whole time, by the way, Soul's been essentially writing in a book that he has, like, almost intermittently between every word you guys have been saying.
Oh. Well, quite the introduction and quite the presence she does carry. It's quite a pleasure, Soul. Thank you for being willing to join us.
It all is for the Empress.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have someone else who already knows this place along.
I've been this as well as the High Wizard, I'm also the one who catalogs and logs everything that goes on around here. Uh, I'm well versed in all that is around here. So whatever you need, ask, and then I will ask the DM.
Well, having someone as knowledgeable as you are helping us, guiding us in the right direction, I should expect a smooth traveling here. We should not need to make any survival checks of any kind. Navigate our way where we're intending on going. There are quite a few perils ahead of us, and we will protect you as you are our guide, but do you have the ability to protect yourself or us if the need arises?
I'm not much of a fighter myself, but I create fighters.
Oh. Well, I think you and I will get along quite fine then. See, you create fighters, and I write about them. I'm quite interested in the creation of heroes as well.
Well, there's a lot of books in here about the heroes of legend that I've read extensively about, and there's a small little form of excitement that he immediately cuts out or gets rid of. So I'll be excited to hear or read whatever it is that you're writing.
If I had a gold piece for every time I heard the term heroes of legend, I'd be filthy rich.
Does that mean you've also read name of book that would be an obscure, lesser known rendition of the hero's tale that I've definitely read as well?
Yes, without even looking, he'll a hand goes and grabs a book from the one of the, I don't know, shelves and pulls it over and shows it.
Oh, and you have it here. Oh, I was so happy when I first got to read that. It, I, I really enjoy the writer's take on the happenings of that adventure. I'm an avid reader of adventure tales myself. They're kind of what has led my life's direction to be here. I've always admired the tales of heroes, both those of the legends and made up stories of heroes as well. Those tales of valor and honor and greater callings have always inspired me to well be more than the mischievous kid I grew up as, and that's honestly why I'm here. So it's wonderful to meet someone else who enjoys reading those tales as well.
I want to go over and grab the book from Janrik or whoever's holding it right now, and like just take it out of their hand and flip to where it says who the author is, and frown. And I'm gonna frown. What a rip off! And I give it back.
Soul smirks and looks at, I don't know names yet. Eric's character.
Janrik.
Eric's the easiest because I just think Jan Rick, and it's just
Jan
like
Rick.
That's
part of
close.
his
It's
name
close.
already.
Yeah, it's close.
And I say, between you and me, I don't get a lot of leisure reading done. I'm spending the majority of the time writing this conversation out and then cataloging it. But when I did have a lot of time to read, I loved this book. Illumio, was it?
It is. At your service.
Are you going to remain armored?
Interesting thing about those who are made in such a way as I am. This is actually my skin. In fact, I am very much naked right now.
Oh, I wasn't aware. Okay. And he looks away, like and realizes the stupidity behind it, looking away when he's clothing. He's basically armor, and re uh, gets himself back together. So you're just okay.
Yeah, something about myself just occasionally exudes light and also needs a good polishing. So if you do find yourself with any free time, willing to help someone out in the polishing department, and feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I've been doing it for quite some time. But if you want a lesson in polishing,
I'm quite alright.
He's got this grin on, and I don't think anybody else is recognizing the double entendre that's going on right now because nobody's laughing, and I'm like,
no, but
No,
I
I
feel
didn't get
quite.
it.
I feel quite comfortable in my own skin, and but I appreciate your observation. It's quite how I like to be, and I'm sure that you and I will have many a conversation about the things you've recorded down over the next coming, hopefully, short period of time.
Wait for it to register.
Oh yeah, I told him to get in on roll 20 because you had the Lord of the Rings music playing, and it's like epic and amazing. You can't hear it.
Hey!
No. Look who it is. Look at this. You're back.
Hello!
Thought he died in a fire.
I am
Oh, my-
back. I did die, and I was resurrected.
I'm glad.
Oh
It's good
man,
to
I'm
This is
happy
the first-
everyone's here to see me return.
This is the first time that the aspect ratio or the amount of screens, cameras, has been offset in quite some time. But 7 is an incredible number, so it's fine.
Well, I'm here now.
Does Soul know about the dagger at all? I would imagine he knows a lot, but I don't know if he knows about the dagger.
I mean, he
that
was
they
standing
have.
there when we said we had it, but
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
you
know,
would
like, know of it is more what I meant.
You would know that Oda attempted to get the dagger. You would know that despite being your empress, she is pretty secretive in nature. And perhaps one of the more frustrating things about being on her council is she goes out on a lot of missions by herself, despite being the empress. So you know of a dagger. You don't necessarily, and she's mentioned it plenty times before, but you don't know how the dagger works, what the dagger does. Like you don't understand maybe its entire role in what it's in this plot at this point.
Mm.
But you would know, like if she said the dagger, you know that what she's referring to.
Okay.
TJ, I know you've been here the entire time, and I don't mean to be rude or insinuate that you've not been listening this entire time, but I believe it's time for your vow of silence to be over and for you to actually introduce yourself. And this is Sol Soren, and he's to be our accompaniment and guide on our way to deliver the dagger, or I should say, to travel to the crystal. We're to take a zeppelin out of this fine spire town.
not
Pleasure
the
to
lead
meet you.
one though.
Hello, my name's Tadget on the Rome. Vows of silence sometimes, mercy's sake, you ever let other people talk.
I told him you do it all the time. It happens.
It's quite common, honestly.
Uh,
I can respect that.
I appreciate your respect. I can respect you respecting that. And it's very nice of you.
Chris, I'm gonna go read through one of those books.
Perfect. There's 5 books. There's Forged for Battle, the art of Warforged crafting, The Living Golem, bridging magic and machine, Heart of the Forge, advanced techniques in golem creation, Steel Souls, the ethical dilemma in construct creation, and the 5th book, Legacy of the Forge, Warforged and Golems in History.
I'll go read Steel Souls.
I want to go over to whatever these books are and like with Erwin, and I want to like I don't even care about reading the books themselves. I want to go to the author of each of these books and just frown, put it back, or give it back to Erwin, and then like look at the next one, see the author.
Yeah,
Erwin,
you can frown.
have you revealed your last name to everybody?
Just now I did. Just literally 10 minutes ago in game, they all learned that my last name is Laststone.
As you, Illumio, as you open the first book, you realize that it says published by the Laststone family.
And I like look at that, and then kind of like look at our Erwin, and then like look back at him. Huh. You know, the reason I was going through these books was to see whether or not they had any of mine published here in this library, but it seems as though their tastes are quite below what one might call fine reading, and I kind of like go to put the book away. However, it seems as though someone else has had their family studiously published. Any relation?
Oh, you tell me. Did the art of the golem not give it away?
Well, it is your family's golem.
It is, yes.
Your family's construct. So, who are your parents?
You know what? If this is possibly last night together before I go into some big war thing that I didn't know I was signing up for when we first took up this job, how about I tell that story over a drink?
It'll be on TJ.
I mean, that's expected.
Of course it is. TJ?
So you would know of the popular tavern here, the drinking place called the Crimson Dawn.
Before we go and get a drink, we're standing in the palace. Is the way upstairs to the crystal room within here, or from here somewhere? Or do we go outside?
I would say yes.
Yeah, so you're able to, being a high wizard, you can teleport directly into the crystal room. You have like privilege.
Can I bring others, or is it just like I can move around freely?
You can bring others if
Okay.
you so choose.
Well, when you were talking about teleporting earlier, I got excited until you said much farther away, but within the confines of the palace, I can take you wherever you want to go.
Oh. You take all of us?
Yes.
How tall is the spire overall?
How tall is the spire overall, DM?
If I think I said, remember 500 feet, like
Oh,
because you saw it from, you could almost see it from the shore.
Right. TJ.
Approximately 500 feet.
See, we're about to be 500 feet in the air, looking around at all the landscape around us and where we came from and where we're going, and we're going to go on a zeppelin. Isn't that exciting?
I mean, a zeppelin is like a boat, but in the air, right?
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Do you have any kind
It's actually quite lovely.
Do you have any, like, stomach, some kind of acupuncture, something that could,
It's all right. It's all right. I've got to get my air legs as well as my sea legs. So
Right,
Air legs.
of course. I would very much like to see that before we go and get a drink, because having a drink or two or three and then going up to 500 feet in the air seems like a bad idea.
I'm sure there's a railing on the Zeppelin.
Railings really never saved anyone, let's be honest.
Mm-mm. All right. If you're ready to go now, I'll take you.
Look around at the group.
Well, I mean, we've got a grand quest to go on. That we should just go and do it then.
Well, we're going to be staying here the evening, TJ.
Oh,
Then
well,
we're taking,
can we just sleep on a Zeppelin?
we're taking the non-Led Zeppelin to the Crystal.
Or
Honestly, a
on...
good thing, because the Led Zeppelin can't do anything more than hover.
Actually, that's a good
really
point.
heavy.
I think, why shouldn't we rest on the Zeppelin? We literally have only a certain amount of time. We're protected for less than 24 hours at this point. Shouldn't we just be going?
Well, as you
being-
recall, the Zeppelin.
It
Oh,
needs
sorry.
repairs.
Yeah.
It is
We're
being
taking the
repaired.
broken Zeppelin.
It won't be broken tomorrow.
Oh, gosh. Oh, and you can't come with us. You can't have any drinks. You can't go to bed. You got to go and make sure it's good to go. I'm just, clearly.
I mean, I can check it out right now, and then I'll be...
That's up to you, but I'd feel much better if you were actually involved in its repair. But literally, they have no other Zeppelins. We have one Zeppelin. It crashed. We're repairing it overnight, and we're literally taking it tomorrow. What a brilliant idea. I'm sorry, that was quite rude, Sol. I greatly appreciate all the hospitality. I'm ready to go to the Crystal Room now. Thank you.
And it by teleporting, you could easily drop off if you wanted to, or if Erwin wanted to. You could drop Erwin off into the Zeppelin room.
Yeah,
I was
I'll go
ask.
take a look at it and see how things are going, and then decide if I want to go get a drink or not.
Okay.
Right. So
First off,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't.
first off to the Zeppelin.
So you guys it's almost like you blink and you're in a different room. You don't even register that you guys have teleported. Luckily, none of you have to make a constitution for the sudden shock of just being in a different room. But you're all like, oh, okay. And you're on one side, and on both the left, if you're facing forward, both on the left and the right side are giant archway, like open ways that appear, and you're able to look out and you see the barren wastelands from both directions. In the middle, though, in front of you, is a giant zeppelin. It is a wooden boat that has 3 masts, and the front mast and the back mast have like smaller crimson red balloons, while the big mast in the center with a bunch of rope has a giant balloon leading to the top of it. On the back, though, you see perhaps technology that is unfamiliar with most of you. Not necessarily a propeller system, but rather there is these 3 or 4 funnels that appear out with one giant funnel in the middle, and you hear like, and then as fire shoots out of it, but then the fire quickly dies, and you hear someone on the inside. He goes, "She's not staying alight. He's burning too quick."
What color is the center
Jet
balloon?
Zeppelin.
The center balloon is also red. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Jet Zeppelin.
Well, here we are.
Thank you. Is everything depressurized? Is anything wet? And I'll walk over to the ship.
And you hear a voice go, "Oh, things are wet. Why didn't we think about cleaning it up?" Ah! And then you see like a bunch of like goblins run around with like towels, like dry it off. And you see one goblin drying off the wood. No.
And I look back towards the group and almost a single tear.
And I mouth. I don't actually say it out loud to Erwin. We're supposed to take this tomorrow.
Yeah, I see how you mouth that with the brick that you have for a mouth.
It's just a flap that goes up and down. It's just a flap. It just goes up and down a little bit.
I imagine just like
And
a bar that lights up as he talks, so it's just like
Yeah.
flashing in Morse code.
Oh, Morse code. Morse code. That's so good.
Yeah, and I look at you and go, is I have no clue what you're saying. I rolled an 8 on perception.
And then I'll just say it out loud. I don't know how far away you've gotten from us.
Okay.
Probably not that far, but yeah. We're supposed to take this tomorrow.
Well,
Could you
we'll
just,
see.
Owen? There's no leaders of this group, but literally all of our lives are in your hands. Not only working on the ship, but if the captain is as inept as those that are working on the ship, we all could be at the bottom of a canyon, not a cannon, a canyon tomorrow. All right?
Well,
I'm relying on you. We all are. I'm going to go get in a great view, 500 feet in the air. You're going to stay here. If you need any help, I'll bring you a drink. I'll come here and I'll be a second hand for you. But literally, you are our only hope at this point.
Relax. I've got
Erwin
it.
Skywalker, you are my
And-
only hope.
I've got it, and amongst all the goblins here, I might actually be the tallest one.
You hear one of them. Go, Bobby, you're no longer in charge. He's taller. Bobby's like, dang it.
Well, that made it easier for me.
And I'll go and strut off towards the Zeppelin and get my hands dirty.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll go to the crystal and then we'll come back to Irwin for.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Snap. We go to the crystal.
you are now on the top of this spire and sitting on a stand, kind of, I guess not sitting, floating just above the stand is a crystal that's about 6 feet tall and maybe about 3 feet wide. You all recognize this as crystallized mithril, also known as red mithril, as it grows red through its magic. Standing in 4 spots around the crystal are similar to the knights that you saw when you first walked into the spire. 4 very prestigious royal knights carrying those spinning blades on the side. And well, they don't react to you appearing. You get the sense that just the way that they stand, that they are not paying attention to you, but they're observing the distance, as almost if they figured no threats will come this close. And then it's flat. Sorry. Let me finish my description, man.
I didn't say anything.
I was pausing for dramatic effect.
Okay.
It's all flat up here, so there's no walls. You are now in the barren cold.
No railings.
No railings. But the crystal is still within its own field, right? And you're able to look over the spire, no problem, and you can see the small outpost, and you can see a good distance either way. Looking one way, you can kind of see mountains very far off, kind of the opposite direction that you came from. Even looking the direction you came from, you can kind of, depending on how well you strain, you can kind of see the ocean that you crossed to get over. But that's about it. You don't see... this is a frozen wasteland. If you want to try to roll a perception check to see if you pick up anything more, feel free. Everyone can roll me a perception check.
Sure. Why not?
I'm not good at spotting stuff. Not like freaking Garen. I can see a mile away.
Yeah.
So, Yanrick and TJ. TJ, you take in the surroundings and you're able to see more hills and a little more of the detailed terrain. But one thing that sticks out to you is you see what looks to be in the far off distance to the west, you see a flare. Just kind of hovering in the sky. And Yanrick, of course, with your perception, you see this too. And you're able to see about halfway to the the flare, you see what looks like to be maybe some Crimson Scouts heading that way, potentially reinforcements going to the flare symbol. Yanrick, to your with your perception, you look around, um, and something catches your eye, and you kind of look kind of north, where you know where the crystal's kind of supposed to be, and you see just for a moment, you can kind of see the ruins. My goodness, not again. Of like maybe a bigger town, way bigger than the town you were in. Like that's potentially a city that used to be there. Um, and then a sense of cold, not cold because you're outside, but a coldness that comes from inside your core. Uh, comes to you, and for a split moment, the mother's face appears in your head, and then it's gone.
It's quite the view.
Yes. Can't quite see exactly what I was looking for, but
You can see that old city about from here.
Look.
Is that where the crystal is?
Yanrick. It's not really that cold up here, is it? Here. I take off
Look
my
a little
cloak
uncomfortable.
and attempt to wrap it up.
The,
My cloak of billowing.
I already have a cloak on, so it's awkward cloak on cloak.
Cloak on cloak action.
I'm all right, Lumio. Thanks.
Okay.
I just got a bit of shivers, is all. It Soul is that where we'd be heading? That city to the north?
that is, in fact, the city in question.
Okay.
Is it alive? Is people there?
From everything I know, no, nothing's alive there, at least.
That's where the crystal is.
Yes.
Interesting. It's a 3 weeks journey. We can see it from here
Um,
on foot.
It was by
that's,
foot, yeah.
I have to defer to the Empresses.
Plus, we are pretty high up,
Yeah.
Right.
and for sure the 3 week would have been like, because we almost like would have encountered resistance going by foot on land.
Yeah. So you would know that her army has been seen in the city. So you also can like 3 weeks is a judgment of avoiding her army, moving slow. You don't know where in the city it's at, so
Oh,
who's to say it's right at the front gate? Is it in the center? Like
gotcha.
where could it be?
I understand.
So
All that is known is that it resides there, and then it is our job to remove it.
Metaphorical 3 weeks, I understand. Well, so have you been there before?
I just log everything that I've been told.
And what have you been told?
So much.
I mean, these are the questions that if you were an NPC, if you were an NPC, Illumia would be asking you all these questions. So,
Well, I'm gonna go. Chris, save me.
I was just saying you could improv it, some of it.
Okay.
You know that her army is stationed there. Scouts have not been able to breach inside the walls. Like the scouts have gotten close to the walls, but then they've been attacked by small parts of her army. No one knows the true size of her army. You don't know. All records have been lost about the importance of the city. No one knows why that city is. The only reason you know that the crystal is there is because of some magic rituals, and because of how you. I guess it's more so also like how much you can assume based on the fact her army's there, and your scouts have reported seeing the mother there.
So, realistically, we have little to go on, but we are determined.
But you are our guide to the crystal. Yes?
That's correct.
So you know precisely its location.
That is also correct.
Oh. All right. I suppose instead of asking you further questions, I'll believe you implicitly. Really, I was just looking to get a lay of the land and see whether or not I could see the town we were in previously and where we might be headed in that direction and what we might see in that direction. And now that we've... TJ,
Yes.
what do your eyes see?
Oh, there's a flare out there.
A flare?
Probably. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, there's a flare, so a light in the sky.
All right.
That way.
Is it... Can I see the flare?
Yeah, with him pointing it out, you can.
Can I determine what?
Yeah,
It
you
is?
you gather that that's probably like a scouting party that's potentially under attack from a bigger force, and that's why the other scouting party is heading that direction.
Do I get the
Oh.
sense or feeling, or can we get the sense or feeling that there are multiple conflicts going on the landscape, like out and about throughout this whole region?
Yeah, without a doubt. Like you can gather from the conversation you picked up and the clues that have been hinted that her army is in the city, but that does not mean she doesn't have forces outwards. She's scouting as well. She's patrolling, and if an entire party gets wiped out and the scouts aren't able to destroy their own bodies, there's more people for her.
Can I? This is gonna sound a little weird. Can I? I mean, maybe you'll make me roll an intelligence check, and that's fine. I'll probably fail it. I'm trying to understand and wrap my head around why the literal creator of the gods and all of creation would have an army on the ground and be caring about small conflicts on the ground. And maybe it's Illumia, maybe it's me, I don't know, not understanding like the drive, which I think is part of that conversation that Illumia was having with the mother of trying to like understand why.
So if you think about it, you go ahead. You don't have to roll actually. If you think about it, the first battle was the Battle of Gods. Very first battle. That is the Battle of Gods, and that is powerful. That is without a part. Like no mortal was a part of it. Mortals didn't exist yet. This is a powerful thing. They destroy the mother. She comes back a second time. She uses a mortal, or potentially has to use a mortal, to try to wreak her destruction. She's defeated and destroyed.
But why?
Let me tell the whole thing, and then you'll. So then she uses a mortal, and she has to destroy everything. Or she uses a mortal as a beacon to like kind of drive forward her power. She's defeated and destroyed. She's been defeated twice. So if you think about it, there is a chance that while she is still powerful, she's losing her power by being defeated multiple times. She has also been defeated in multiple different ways. She was defeated by gods, and then she was defeated by mortals who rallied and were better at war than her. She's a powerful...
Also, she was sealed in the crystal in that second war, right? That second defeat.
Yeah. She was able to use like an avatar, right? But it still destroyed. There was still some destruction of her power. So she's been bested twice. She's normally just been like, hey, this is a world I need to consume. She consumes it. This is her first time facing retaliation. This is her first time. She's a goddess of consumption, but she doesn't mean she's a grand strategist.
Goddess here could just mean like really powerful being, not necessarily like omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. She,
Did and this I still need to ask this out of character. I'm sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah.
Alex. It according to known history or whatever, our understanding, she is the creator of everything.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So my conversation with, like, if I had fully understood that explanation of, which I probably should have, I read everything, but the way that you just explained it very succinctly was really good for me to have a better understanding. My conversation with her in that city village would have gone even different, even more
Well, if you think
differently
about
than
it,
it did.
she's not someone who wants to admit that she's losing power.
Oh man, I would have made fun of her so bad. Holy crap. Okay.
And that's
gotcha.
okay. Maybe because of who Illumio is and what he's read and whatnot, like that
Oh.
you
Right. So actually, you telling me all of that, does Illumio actually understand all of that? Because right now he's
yeah,
wrestling
I would
with...
say it clicks. Like
Okay.
for Illumio, he has struggled with who this mother was and what her purpose was, because being a storyteller, you're like, what's the story point? Like, what is her, like, where's the motivation? Where's everything? And then it clicks. Like it takes a moment. You to yourself believe that you have found the nick in her armor.
Can I then
How
also
can
ask
I make her relatable for the youngster?
Can I
Yeah.
then also ask a follow-up question, and maybe I can't have the answer to this, but do we know what caused the original war between her and the gods, or the gods themselves?
The gods that her children, they wanted, it's kind of a little immortal, Eternals-esque. They got tired of creating realms that she would consume. They wanted to see their creations succeed.
So she's been consuming from the very beginning.
Yeah.
She wasn't good from the very beginning.
Yeah. There's never been a single ounce of good.
Gotcha.
Like Kronos.
Yeah.
Creator of all things, but eats his babies.
Because he was
Yeah.
told his baby was going to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Her whole purpose was always she made her children, which help her make realms of reality and worlds that she
said
then gets
that.
to consume.
She said that. She did say that. Okay. All right. I'm sorry for derailing everything and asking those questions, but now
No
I have
worries.
much better
No worries.
understanding.
I want you to understand, and I apologize if I have not maybe made that.
You've done a great job. I'm stupid, so just leave it at that. Yep.
Aren't we all?
Fair enough. Well, very quick. We'll cut to Irwin for a little bit, and then we'll go on a break, like probably
Yep.
10 minutes, and then we'll go on our break.
Her.
So,
I actually
Irwin,
need to pee real quick, so yeah.
Irwin, you come up to this. You see like the back hatch of this boat has been open, and they are just like in this um, furnace type room. You have maybe seen something similar to this, where maybe in like your parents' like factories where they've used similar machinery to like superheat or power like the assembly line or power rate the machinery to help them perform, but you haven't necessarily seen or maybe even thought of the idea of using this combustion system as a way to move forward. Um, but what catches you to the most surprise is you see in the middle of the engine, because it's opened up, and you see it kind of with two metal bars holding it in the center. You see more red mithril, crystallized mithril, which mithril is very important metal, but crystallized mithril is like a very dangerous magic, like infused metal. You know that maybe you could maybe recall a time of one of your parents' factories blowing up trying to use mithril, red mithril. And you see these goblins like they're just kind of arguing, and you see maybe You do see like one dwarf who's more working, maybe not less on the magical side, but like the machinery, like the cranks and the shafts and what other stuff goes into cars and engines that I don't understand. Doing some stuff over there, but you see the goblins like, well, it's not staying lit. Why is it not staying lit? It always stays lit. Oh wow, did a piece fall off? And they're kind of like trying. They're not able to theorize like what's going on.
Um, mind if I take a look?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, go right ahead. You're taller, so that means you got leadership privilege.
All right, I'll squeeze in and take a look around.
Perfect. As you
And I do have Smith's tools on me and Tinker's
perfect.
tools.
All right. As you kind of peek into this engine, go ahead and give me either our Arcana check, a Perception check, or yeah, one of those two, whichever one's your best.
Okay. Arcana. Total 19.
You've been around magic. You sit next to a magical core, right? You know raw potential magic. You kind of get in like near it, and you realize there you feel no magic around you. There is a complete absence of this magic.
All right. Is this the kind of thing that I could like jump, like with the help of Lockheed? Like, would I be able to jump magic on this ship?
You could certainly try.
I'll give that a go. I'll set up Lockheed, and I'll use my Tinker's tools and smithing tools together to try and hook them up and try and jump these mithril crystals.
Okay. Go ahead and just very quickly paint the scene on how you're going to try to do that.
Sure. Um. Using the arcane core that is connected within Lockheed, I would like to use the Tinkerer's tools to actually wire it outwards, and then use the smithing's tools to actually attach it to the mithril crystals.
Okay.
Um, and basically just turn Lockheed on and try different like connections and different things of trying to bolster the magic power in this place. That way we can actually get this thing to light and get it off the ground and focus on the less important repairs.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of set up this system of wires connecting this core in the airship to the core in your in Lockheed, and you while he's up, you haven't necessarily like turned him on. You summoned
Right.
him, and you get settled, and you whatever it is it a key or whatever, a button, whatever you do, you start the ignition to say, go ahead and give me another Arcana check, this time with advantage.
Okay. Oh, almost an at 20. 16, so it's 23 total.
Perfect. All right, so you sit there and you see like the electricity of your core go down the like spiraling down the wire that's connected to the core of the machine, and the other core that you have attached, you see that same electricity start to come back towards you, but this time it's glowing red instead of the blue that you sent down. And for a moment, Lockheed powers down just for a second, everything. And then after about like 10 seconds and maybe a moment of panic, it starts to Lockheed starts to turn back on, but this time it sounds different. It's like it has a more powerful startup, and you see the magic exchange, um, and you are able to you see the crystal start to glow as it comes to life, But in your machine, lightning kind of starts to spark all around you. And you're going to take 2d6 lightning damage, which I'll roll for you here. So you take. Oop, that's the wrong dice. You take 8 lightning damage as this magic is reflected back at you. But for a moment, you notice that uh, Lockheed's fist that you've been using as your weapon starts to glow, and spikes of crystallized magic start to pop out of its metal shell. And then on your other fist, a thing pops out, and it's a crystal that's kind of pointed forward. And you see lightning kind of shooting off of it, scratching against the floor. That upgrade that I messaged you about has officially happened, and you feel that Lockheed has become more powerful, and you have given life to this machine.
I'm looking at him, and there's a mix of eureka and also, oh, my parents are gonna kill me.
You totally just scratched their machine.
Oh.
And that's where we'll take our break. Okay, so we'll pick up. Erwin, you were able to restore the engine to this Zeppelin, and the goblins are like, oh, yeah, tall one, and they're celebrating. You see one of them puts his head through one of the wood cupboard doors that's in the engine room, and the dwarf comes over. He goes, nice. And then just goes back to and he's, turning something, engine
that's
stuff.
more like it. That's more like it.
You gather that you have just greatly helped the repairs. Obviously, there's still some structural damage, that maybe needs to be done. One of the masts, now that you got closer, did look like a little cracked, and so they're probably gonna cast some mending on that. And but you've been able to speed up the repairs. So the party upstairs, is there anything else you want to do on the top floor? Okay, so
Does anyone have feather fall?
Whee!
Pretty sure I do, actually.
What's that meme
I
with
do.
Kratos falling and playing the music as he falls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have featherfall, but I'm not.
That's it.
So if I were to jump down, you wouldn't cast it on.
You're not worth the cast, Felix.
Dude, he jumped.
not worth the cast on
Kane.
the first level spell.
Ka-
Damn.
Kane, how long do you think it would take you to reach the ground? If I were to slow
Bit
your
under
descent?
10 seconds. It's 500 feet up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a bit under 10 seconds.
I look over at
60 feet
TJ.
per- No, it's
Exactly.
Oh,
Somebody clip it. Oh man, that's so good.
it's 50 seconds. I don't know if you heard me before. I like that.
Nope.
You cut out just before you said
Yeah,
that.
it's 50 seconds because it's 60 feet per turn, but a turn is 6 seconds.
You had a great face, by the way, in your
I
frozen
assume
state.
Jason screenshot it, making you.
I was hoping that he would,
emote.
but
I did
I don't think he was
not.
fast enough.
You'll have to
I'm
go
not.
back to the recording.
TJ, Yonric. Actually, Sol, you're here as well, obviously.
I am.
What are your thoughts? Do people just whimsically just kind of throw themselves off the tower in a completely just normal sort of way? And
Nothing of what you're saying is normal.
well, see, the thing is I believe maybe you have such a feature as well to yourself, being someone of the arcane arts, the ability to slow the descent of someone who's falling. I just think it might be a fun little trick. Do you recommend against it?
Basically, what he's asking is, are we gonna get shut out of the sky if we do it?
Personally, I wouldn't. I'm not assuming that we're expecting any form of danger amongst the palace grounds itself. But if you want to go for it, I don't see why not.
As he's saying this, I slowly reach my arm around, like over his shoulder, to try and put my arm around his shoulder just to see what his reaction is.
I move away.
Oh.
You can cast Featherfall on 5 people at once.
I don't think I can do that.
Yes.
Can wait?
You
Can
cast
I?
it on 5
Five?
people
Oh, yeah.
with a first level spell slot.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
up to
showing
5.
up. It's not showing up in my upcast. Who's
I know you
what's
don't
it?
even need to
Because
upcast
there
it.
is- there is
Just
no
first
upcasting?
level. Yeah, there's just
First
straight up
level.
no upcasting for it.
Oh,
But
4
first
fallen
level-
creatures, and there
Plus
are
yourself.
there's
There's
5
up
of
to
us.
5 falling creatures within range.
Oh! It does say that. Oh, so see, the thing is, we've been through this thing called the Trial of Heroes, and we've seen some pretty incredible things. And something that I learned is that a hero is defined by the actions they take and basically choose to be a hero. Now, jumping from a tower and falling down from it, plummeting essentially to your death, but knowing that that won't actually happen, isn't in and of itself a defining feature of being a hero. My question for you is, do you want to be a hero?
What would you have me do? Jump off the building with you?
Well, the thing is, I literally just described the fact that jumping off the building wouldn't, in fact, categorize you as a hero. My question is, do you want to be a hero?
I suppose. By definition, I would want to be someone who is saving someone or protecting something.
Do you trust me?
You're allowed to
No.
say no.
No. I feel like people who say that you have to be wary of.
I feel like that's a very good answer. In fact, it's the one I was looking for. And I look at Yanrick and TJ and Kane, and I wink at them. And I would like to grab onto Soul and jump off the building.
Okay. Soul, are you of course get a chance to react. Are you going to let this kind of happen? Is it because or not because it kind of catches you off surprise, or
I feel like I had an idea. If he, I don't know how close he was to me.
he moved close to put his arm around you, and you did say you moved away a little, but to me that would be like you're just kind of moving
Yeah,
slightly.
yeah.
So he's still pretty close.
If you would say that I could, I'd be able to pick up on his intent. I would. I don't mind rolling for something to see if I can.
Insight check on that.
So what I'll do is let's do opposed athletic checks, but Soul, you do it at disadvantage as he still catches you off
Ah, it's
guard.
the
almost.
worst. Yeah, sure.
My athletics is only +2, just so you know. So,
Yeah, mine is -1, so you're fine.
ooh, not good.
Oh,
Oh, disadvantage.
come on.
Hey,
so,
so great.
so there's a moment where you're kind of like you're like, what are you doing? And you take in a moment and you're like, there's no way that this new person who's here would purposely cause not a disturbance but a scene of some sort. And for just a split moment you're like, no, it won't happen. And you kind of relax your guard, and at the last moment you see it like a flash as the little bit of light that's here reflects off his metal hand as he goes up. And how do you push him off, Illumia?
I literally just like back to the edge, grab onto his shoulder, and just fall off backwards. But I want to make a motion with my other hand to the others to come with me, whoever wants to, just kind of like a come here kind of motion.
All right.
And then
With
Running.
with his hand down,
diving.
I want to try and like not catching on exactly what he's doing, go over and try and like grab him to pull him
Save
back
him.
on and save him.
Sure.
No.
I mean,
Give
it's-
me a athletics check.
Oh no! And then if he falls, but
And it
if
just,
Soul
James
falls,
just
but
runs
not.
by and jumps with no hesitation.
That's an 11.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Who are you reaching out for?
Illumia was the
Illumia,
first
yeah.
one going over. He's got his
Okay.
hand out. It looked like maybe he was grabbing onto Soul to try and not fall or something. Maybe if I wasn't paying attention.
You.
I'm still a bit rattled watching the city to the north. So this,
Yeah.
That was why I was a
You.
bit
Last
off on
minute,
this.
you react and you
I mean, I
go.
winked at you, but yeah.
And you not picking up on the situation, you kind of do the heroic dive to the edge to catch the falling person, and you grab on to Illumio. But the thing that you didn't count for is Illumio's a warforged. This is probably the
He's
heaviest
heavy.
thing you've ever carried
Mhm.
or held in your hand. And for a moment, you think you have him, and then you are dragged off the edge very quickly. And so
Immediate
Yannick is
screaming.
falling too.
Immediate screaming, just top of his lungs.
I'm gonna give it a full round of falling and just because I fell off backwards, so I'm looking up just to see if Kane or TJ is coming with us.
I just,
You're just seeing, just like his hair, just and his face, as the wind rushes past him.
Yeah, I'm trying to grab all my papers and books that are falling and going everywhere.
Yes.
Isn't falling speed in one round like insanely fast?
I think it's 500 feet.
Wait,
Yeah, like we
wait,
would
what?
actually hit round if you wait a full 6 seconds.
Wait, that,
Yeah,
that can't be right. That cannot be right.
That's what I'm
6
looking
whole
up
seconds,
right now.
1
6 whole
Mississippi,
seconds, yeah.
2 Mississippi,
Yeah,
3
you-
Mississippi,
yeah.
4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6
Yeah.
Mississippi.
Okay, well
Well,
then I guess I
for
probably would know that.
For mechanic wise, what we'll say is one round you fall about 250 feet. I'll give you that.
Well, then-
You've got within the round to
But
react. and you
okay,
can just-
exactly. That's what I was gonna say because it's only a 60-foot range on Featherfall. So if they don't come immediately after us, then I'm just gonna cast it on us.
Okay.
If that's the case, because I wasn't aware of that ridiculous
I wouldn't either.
falling.
Kane, are you jumping too?
Yeah,
Yeah, he-
as soon as I saw him grab him and like, I saw him running to jump off the edge.
That's amazing. This is totally movie-esque right now. I love it.
Yeah.
Except you, for some reason, wall magic surge as you cast the spell makes all of us invincible, so we just all splat to the ground.
I really wish we
You
knew
all
if
turn
T-
into potted
TJ
plants.
Wish we knew if TJ was coming with us. Potted plants, shadow.
He's got his wings. He might dive off and just fly on his own.
Oh, true.
I mean, I can fly. I have a fly speed, so I'm not
Uh-huh.
not worried about it. But all right, whoever's coming, we'll find out if TJ came with us later.
Willingly or
Counterspell.
unwillingly.
Hey, you can counterspell my featherfall.
No, I'm just looking if I could fly it. Otherwise, like, wait, I have counterspell.
Ultimate troll. I cast counters. I mean, I
I cast for all myself. No, you can't. You
Cast-
already used your reaction. Cast Featherfall. You can't cast.
I'm gonna counterspell his counterspell to my featherfall. So no, I cast featherfall.
All right. You guys, for a moment, Sul and Yanrick, you have gone over the edge. You're like, this is it. Yannick, for you, you're like, this is how your hero's journey ends. All of that training, all of that reading, all of that hope, you fall off a tower.
Getting
And then-
dragged off a tower.
You kind of poof in the air and you gently slow down and kind of float to the ground. Sul, you see your papers kind of scatter in the wind as they fall out of your notebook.
Yeah.
I'll try and.
I
I'll use Mage Hand to try and grab
I was
as many
gonna
as I
also
can.
use Mage Hand to try to grab what I can.
I'd like to cast Mind Illusion to make it seem like there's more pages out of nowhere.
That's rude.
What are you doing?
Super. He's a troll. Super troll.
Oh, God.
You just you feel like you have lost your notebook is entirely empty at this point. You're just like, there's so many pages in the air.
An entire day of logging gone. There's gonna be a gap. There's gonna be a gap, and I'm gonna hear the Empress yell at me.
What happened on December 20th of the year of 2007?
I jumped.
That's
I
all I
got
have.
drunk.
I am going to use a feature that I have called Counter Charm as an action you can perform until the end of your next turn. During that time, and you can rule, Chris, if there's not enough time to do this, but during that time, you and any friendly creatures within 30 feet that can hear you gain advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed. And I just wanted to flavor it so that their fears are allayed.
Okay, yeah. I think that's fun.
Also, we have plenty of time.
So as you're falling, there is a sense of calmness that comes over you, and you're kind of, well, you're still like, oh, my pages. You're still kind of like, oh, this isn't too bad.
Granted, I don't think Sol was even caring about falling.
That's fair.
I think he was just freaking out about the papers. Yeah.
Did we fall off? Did we happen to fall off the side where we're gonna land next to where Erwin is, or are we on the other side?
Yeah, you've already passed where Erwin was.
Oh,
How does my ability?
Erwin, you kind of step out of your ship, out of the ship to kind of like, it's getting hot in there, and you're kind of wet, wiping your brow, and you kind of look out to the cold air, kind of taking it in, and just for a moment, you see Illumio, Yanrick, Sol, and Kane fly past the window, and you're like,
Yeah, right.
and I'm playing music on the way down, so you hear music just go flying by you.
You know what? My work is done anyway, and I'll get in Lockheed and jump off the side with alongside them, and I will also cast Featherfall on myself.
Oh my goodness!
As I
I knew he would be jealous that he didn't get to do the free fall with us. I knew it.
There's a moment though where you
what
guys
have I
are all
gotten
kind of.
myself into?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sol.
I just said Sol is just thinking, what have I gotten myself into?
What did the Empress make me do?
Let me know when we land because I have something I want to say to Soul.
Yeah. But for a moment while you guys are in the air, you all kind of look up and you see you hear, ooh, and you just see, like he just, and you're like, for the thought that's shared among all of you is, does he have Featherfall? Just for a moment, that single thought is shared amongst you all.
As he comes rocketing towards us.
Yeah, and then he.
Yeah,
slows down.
it's much like a cannonball, and as I come up beside you guys, I cast Featherfall, and now I'm beside you. And Lockheed now has some upgrades that are brand new, and I just look at you guys. Pretty cool, right?
As we're falling, looking pretty good there.
Quick question: is the ship gonna blow up tomorrow, or are we good?
No, I mean I fixed the biggest problem. They still have to do some minor patch-ups, but that's beneath me. So
I mean,
Actually, the ground is beneath us.
The ground is beneath us.
but I mean, worst if it comes to worst, we now know after our great experiment that we're doing right now that even if the ship blows up, if we jump off on time, we'll be able to survive.
Exactly.
Let's avoid jumping off of anything else. Thank you.
Why?
This isn't exactly fun for me.
Well,
This
then
is what
you guys-
heroes do.
And you're about 20 feet from the ground. As you're-
As we come to settle down. Now, Sol, I understand this wasn't fun for you. Actually, I don't actually understand why it's not fun for you, because we didn't die, and I kind of, prefaced grabbing you and hurling you off this large spire. So, the reality of the situation is, our lives are in your hands because you are our guide, and for just a brief moment in our ever so spectral grain of sand of our lives, the moment in our lives, your life was in my hands. And so now you know that you can trust me. You can trust us. I would be happy to have your back, because I know that you will ours.
You have a funny way of showing your trust. I wanted to ask a question though.
Yeah.
Uh, is my ability to teleport through the palace only reliant on me being inside the palace or on palace grounds, or would I have been able to just get out of that situation immediately and end up in the palace?
Come on, Chris. Make sure he has fun.
I'm not gonna retcon anything.
Actually, the best case scenario is that Chris says that he does have the ability to teleport, and he chose not to.
I chose not to. Yeah.
Or he freaked out so much he forgot he could.
Apparently, you guys can go ahead. Well, I would say you know that like it is within palace grounds because like you've gone to like the tavern and you know you can't teleport back.
Right.
But in your moment of panic, you don't know if it would have worked or not.
Fair enough.
Because you know you don't know necessarily the range. Being that you're a little more maybe of a serious person, there was never a moment where you walked to the tavern and then the whole time walking back you kept trying to teleport into the town hall to see the range.
Yeah.
Or he was
Fair.
really drunk and he doesn't remember it.
Also possible.
By the way, Sol, don't worry. I'm pretty sure you got most of your papers. The majority of the ones that were
I'm still making the way
pulling
down.
down. No, and I snap my fingers. Just illusions I created to mess with you.
Yeah.
Um, everyone, go ahead and give me a perception check as you guys reach the ground.
I miss Louise plus like 15.
I know, right?
I don't. Okay, so you all, you know, you're kind of joking around or you're kind of having this heartfelt moment, but you take in a moment and you realize a small crowd has kind of gathered. You know, from maybe even the beginning. There's even like some people still kind of going, you know, just trying to take in what happened. There's some whispers. And yeah, that's about it. You just kind of take in the crowd, and you notice that some people have kind of gathered around you.
I definitely want to take that opportunity. What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say, right, and I'm gonna get out of Lockheed and break down Lockheed.
So, tavern?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is our honor and great esteemed pleasure to offer the services, and by services I mean the presentory. The words escape me at the moment. The presentation is that of Sol, who is a great asset to the Empress, who's been granted us to save the world, as it were, and so we have Sol at our disposal, and we are here to enjoy ourselves for just the one night before we head off on our amazing journey. This was but the first of a leap of faith, as it were, in the future. And as all of you who I assume have great faith in the future, with all of the hardships you've had to endure over the, and I just go on and on. I'm not going to go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I can make a performance check if you want me to.
I was gonna say, give me a performance or yeah, actually just a performance. Let's just do performance.
I only have a +4 on performance.
Quick
That's all right.
question, Chris. When we jumped off, did we hear an eagle screech?
You now have a better lay of the land, and you can quick travel here. And you see the hay barrel that you could have landed in.
I want to make it clear that Illumio initially, like at the beginning of this mini campaign, would have been trying to coerce the crowd to give us money to pay for our beers, but in this moment, that's not at all what he's doing. He is trying to build faith in the Empress and us as heroes to save them from their ailments and help them to have a brighter hope for the future.
Okay. All right. Good reflection on character growth.
Looking for absolutely nothing in return from them.
Yeah. Give me a insight check with advantage of the crowd.
Is it shift?
I
Eric?
think
Yeah.
so. Or I just right click.
Left shift.
Yeah, as long
No,
as
it didn't work.
it has to be your active window.
Yeah.
That's all right. I rolled once. Roll again. Not better. Oh, it is better. Wait,
Yes.
That's
better.
an 18.
A lot better, actually.
wait.
Barely.
Worst.
No one claps or like, hoorah! You know, this is an outpost of soldiers. But you see some people just kind of nod, and you get the insight that the crowd doesn't normally react to the way you're maybe used to crowds reacting. You do get a sense that you may have inspired some of them, most of them. But I mean, these are soldiers on the front lines. They're not going to celebrate something necessarily like that, depending on how long they've been here. But you feel like you had a positive impact.
We make our way to the tavern.
Perfect. As you guys make your way into the tavern, Sol, you're able to lead them upstairs into like a private room where unseen servants are bringing drinks to you guys. As that way, you kind of have more of a private room to yourselves to converse as needed. It's not like the room that you had in the in the spire, where you can still hear the noise around you and whatnot. And Thal Lee speaks up and she goes, "That was. I can't believe you did that. That was. I picked a weird group to lead this."
Where you're telling us no one's ever done that.
No, I
Why?
can't say.
You know, unfortunately, I think you picked the right group.
It's not unfortunate at all, Owen. And I was about to share your exact sentiments. In fact, thoroughly, I think that you're mistaken. I think that you know that you picked the right group. And I think that our actions but a few moments ago proved that.
She quietly just nods and just kind of, very well.
I can explain it to you if you'd like me to.
No, that's okay. It's fine.
Very well.
It's for the best. He would go on and on. Oh, this is your living quarters. Pick a bed, pick a room, and then we can make our way to the Crimson Dawn?
You're at the Crimson Dawn.
Oh, this is the Crimson Dawn. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you went to the
You
drinks
live here
first.
at the bar.
Yeah.
Understood. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get some fancy drink because I don't drink beer.
the wind servant, because you've been here before, brings you your nice high class champagne and sets it gently in front of you, and then you see two mage hands appear to each of you, like in front of you, the rest of you, and one's got a pen and one's got paper, and it's like waiting to take your order for the drink.
Your cheapest and strongest drink.
It scribbles.
Do we have to pay here?
Yeah.
I looked to Soul.
These are friends of the
Oh, we
Empress.
don't. Oh, then just your strongest. Ignore cheapest.
It scratches, scribbles.
Whatever your best is, I would love to try it.
It comes over to you, Erwin.
Your finest red?
Scribbles. Comes over to Lumio.
I gesture towards Soul. Whatever he said.
WD-40.
Nice little pint of oil.
And then a couple minutes later, Jason, Erwin and Illumio, you have the same drink that Soul has.
Oh my god.
The fancy red wine. And then Yanrick and Kane, you get more of a like a whiskey glass, and you but instead of a unseen servant coming up, you see a dwarf come up, and he's on drums, and another dwarf comes with a small little vase. And then they out and leave.
This is why I don't like
I
drinking
I
anything
lean
but...
over to Kate. I've never had that happen before.
Neither
Were we
have
about
I.
to drink?
You hear,
Here
Soul, you recognize that's called Dwarven Fire. And it's a very, very strong whiskey that has often been known to singe the beards of dwarves.
Good thing I don't have a beard.
Good luck.
Does Yanrick have a beard?
Just a little bit of script.
Not anymore. Not anymore. It's gone.
Yeah, do you guys drink it?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
One,
all
a
about
big
it.
gulp.
He's
Smart.
he's not used to drinking like slow sip whiskey, so he takes a big old swig like it's an ale.
You
Celebrating Jeff
That's a
Bezos of the
tower. Reminded me of a time in college my friend got 2 gallons of tequila for $10.
What?
Danger. Oh no!
Oh my
that
God.
thing was pure gasoline.
No, I was gonna say that's the kind of alcohol that you hear from like your parents were like, "Hey, careful with that; it'll make you go blind." You know, like that's.
Where we poured it all in the shot glasses, and we were like, and you just threw it back. You did not.
And then you threw it up.
Don't give
Yeah.
it back.
And then you drank 2 gallons of root beer afterwards as a chaser.
Oh man.
It got you
that
drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kane and Yannick, can I get a Constitution saving throw, please?
Oh, I want to see Yanrick
Yeah.
drunk right now.
Nope.
Oh, you
The AC
feel
was actually 21.
you feel the burn go though in your chest and out to your fingertips, and all of you all look at Kane and Yanrick, and you swear you see smoke coming off of his cheeks as what little stubble they have disappears.
I just go over
However,
and immediately start slapping Yanrick's cheeks. Just
Yanrick, you're able to be like, "Ooh, ooh," and you kind of ramble, and you're tipsy, like you feel it,
That is-
but you're not drunk.
That is stronger than anything I've ever had.
Kane,
Oh my gosh.
you're drunk. You're not blackout yet. You did well enough, but you're
You
like,
failed.
"Ooh." Yeah. I had a DC 20, so
Oh wow.
wow.
Guys, I have a great idea. Do you think we could do it again?
We're not jumping off a building again.
But we could, Soul. We totally could.
Wait, how high is the tavern?
If you want to walk up 500 feet of a building, be my guest. I'm not bringing you up
No,
there.
yeah, that's a bit long, but how high is the tavern?
Oh, I don't.
Kane, no, don't jump off the tavern, because you just drank the same thing I did, and I'm feeling like I am. You shouldn't walk for a little while. Just sit still.
I don't
Is there-
need to walk, and I'll teleport.
Maybe not even.
Is there a minstrel in
I
here?
can't stop him.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Very quick though. Erwin, the wine that you have sipped, being kind of your background, this is probably one of the nicest reds you've ever had. This is like, depending on how high class and wine-ish that Irwin is, this is probably, you're confident, you're like, no, this is prestigious. Um, and Illumio, can you taste?
No, I was holding mine to give to Soul after he finished his.
Okay,
I wasn't
perfect.
even going to pretend to drink it. Or
I
anything
thought you
like
were
that.
just saying, oh, I'm just holding the wine glass like that.
Yes.
I don't even remember what Soul got. I just was handed the cup or the goblet or the glass, and I was just like kind of looking at Soul and just kind of nodding and smiling. Yeah, I can't smile at all. And and then I'm just kind of like waiting for him to finish his drink, and I want to strike up a conversation with Soul, but get on to whatever it is you were going to.
Yeah, Kane. I mean, everyone else. You notice as Kane summons his echo, and so this is the first time you see it. You see an echo. Who do you summon, Kane?
Who did I summon last time? You know what? I'll go with Bernard, the halfling.
Perfect. You see a shadowy halfling, but to all of you, you swear that this shadowy figure is also like swaying back and forth as if it's also drunk. And as Kane teleports,
yeah.
he doesn't teleport standing up. He's like legs in the air, slap like back against the wall, like upside down.
See?
Like,
Perfectly fine.
Can I go over and catch him?
yeah.
I'll just. Did his drink go with him? Did you
No,
leave it
his
on the
drink's still
table?
there. His thing.
Okay, I'll grab it and pull it away from where he was sitting and set it over next to mine. I don't think he'd have more of that. Ooh, I don't even know if I'm gonna have more of that. I'm used to ale and just drinking a lot of it. This is a lot all at once. Ooh. I'll take my time with it from then on, small sips at a time.
Yeah. And while you guys are kind of having your cheer, you're not, you kind of miss it for a second, but you see some unseen servants start to bring food your way and start to fill the table. Illumio, you said you wanted to strike up a conversation with Soul.
I mean, I can do that at any time. But
Yeah, I'm letting you know it's a good segue because something else is going to happen, but I want it to happen after you.
At some point, from my shadow, the silhouette, I guess, of a cat appears, but it's just like non-textured at all, not even have any eyes, and it starts to get on my lap, and I just pander to it. 'Cause I like
Illumio
my cat.
immediately sneezes violently.
That's beautiful.
Robot allergies?
You hear like a ding of a metal like every time.
Yeah.
Sol is very amused.
So what is my voice doing right now? Hold on a moment. And then I just like reach up and like grab my jaw and kind of like readjust it, and you hear a click sound for a second. I don't know what that was at all, actually. On a more serious note, I just want you to know that while it was quite precarious what we just experienced and went through, that I have your best interest at heart, although I don't truly have a heart. In all reality, I think that you will be quite pleased with our efficiency and how we accomplish things, and you can trust that we will do the right thing. That, if nothing else, is the truth.
I believe you. If there's one thing I've been able to pick up on is in my entire life working for the Empress, it's especially since she's consistently going off on her own, is that people who are brave enough to take some risk are probably the people you want on your side the most.
Now, and I that's fantastic that you've come to that conclusion. Ultimately, there is, and I try to say this in a way that I try to find a point where Yanrick isn't paying attention or listening, if I can, and if I say it and he is paying attention, that's fine as well. But it's an attempt.
Really focused on the intensity of the drink in front of him.
Mm-hmm. We are attempting to be heroes. That is our goal. I'm not sure how far you will see us through to the end of our journey, but there is a heightened and great possibility that we will not make it out of this alive after we've completed our purpose. If you are to see us to that finish and that end, I just want to make sure that you understand that we greatly appreciate your efforts, and should you wish to not accompany us, as much as it's been the decree and the edict of the Empress herself, that you should be able to make your own decision.
I've been assigned a task, and I will see to it that the task is done. And if I see merit in continuing on with you, I will.
It's very brave. It's the making of heroes. I've been recording and writing down all of our actions and words and everything we've been doing, and I'll get to add you to our storybook. But there's a great possibility that all of our names will go down in history as maybe fools, I'm not quite sure, but I intend in my writings to make sure that we're known as those that helped, or at least tried to, and for the right reasons. If you wish to be part of that, I welcome you.
You all seem, and I'll look around and see the
That's
chaos.
very loud, Chris. Thank you for lowering your volume.
I'll see the chaos that's going on with each of the party members.
And I'm ignoring
You all
it
seem
entirely.
very comfortable in a way that I've not seen in my time under the Empress. That can be because I tend to be by myself and isolate.
Look, I understand, and I didn't mean to cut you off. That was quite rude. I apologize, and I will let you finish your sentence. But we've seen rabid, like sentient rats. We've dealt with angels and literally someone who brought down the entire civilization, allied themselves with the mother, and was bound to a dimension in which they were a skeleton, but they were responsible for the deaths of hundreds, if not millions. It's been quite an interesting couple of weeks we've experienced, and I think that at this point, we are the only hope that the world has, and I think that you, as our guide, are the cherry on top of the fantastic ice cream sundae that we've gotten to enjoy these last couple of weeks.
You're very good with your words. Thank
you.
I've been in the back line for quite some time. Not because I haven't been offered, I suppose, to be more contributive to the efforts, but I just found myself at home reading and writing, with the occasional protection of folks in the nearby area. But I've always... The number one thing I want is to see this end. And if my efforts in helping your efforts to take it down manage to even give us the slightest of hope, I'm gonna do it.
Good. I couldn't have put it better myself. I just wanted to make sure that you understood what was at stake and what you were getting yourself into, and the absolutely ridiculous shenanigans that you witness currently. And I look over at whatever the heck is happening with the other others that are happening.
You see Kane has somehow been able to manifest both of his echoes, and they're all three of them are kind of squaring up like they're about to brawl, and Yanrick is still kind of sizzling from his face, and a little bit on the top of his head, even. And Erwin is. Did you keep the book?
I did. I did keep the book.
Yeah, and of course you can correct me if this is not what your characters are actually doing. But Erwin's kind of swirling and enjoying his wine and maybe flipping through the pages a little bit.
Yeah, I've already read the book like 10 times over, so I'm like reading the book as a backdrop, but I'm eavesdropping on their conversation.
So I motion over towards Kane. Oh, I lowered the music and then you lowered the music. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I have a volume that I prefer. There we go. The one who sees others, who has a history and a background that comes from friendship with others. The recovery of such drives them forward and causes them to wish to keep those who still walk these lands alive. A bit of a troll, as you've witnessed, but loyal to a fault. And I motion over, or I kind of nod over towards Yanrick. Young, powerful, doesn't quite understand his true potential. Also, a great friend, and one who will tell you exactly what you need to hear in the moment, if inspired to do so. And over towards TJ, who hasn't been here this entire time. But
It's another vow of silence.
my best friend and brother, someone who wishes to see us all succeed, doesn't know of the power that resides within him. And the small one with the large robot, technical and savvy, probably the most you'll ever find. I think that Thalali has put together, and with your Empress, the most formidable group that this world has ever seen. I think the Mother has no idea what she's in for. And I'm going to write about all of it. The whole entire reason I'm having this conversation with you is I'm asking your permission to include you in my book of heroes that I'm writing.
Phil takes a moment to reflect on his life and what he's accomplished. I'm no hero. I don't know if the adventures that you and your companions have had and the deeds you have managed to accomplish, whether it be saving folk or removing enemies, are all things that I write about and read about. I've done nothing to claim the title hero.
So,
But if after this, I'm able to help you and help rid the world of the Mother, you have my permission to include my visage.
So, it's incredible and almost seems like destiny that we've met, as I believe you've just given me the title of my book. You see, all of us feel as though we are not heroes and have come together as a group destined to do what no other could. I believe the title of my book will be I'm No Hero. And I would be ingratiated to be allowed to include you in it.
By all means.
I think you'll fit right in. And I just set the cup or glass or whatever it is in front of him and get up and go outside.
The music too.
Yeah,
right?
That was perfect.
Yeah. I was kind of because I really thought you were about to be like a fellowship. I thought it was coming, so I was giggling, and then you were like, "I'm no hero," and I was like, "Oh shoot, I had to giggle."
I thought it was good.
No, it was,
That was
beautiful.
great, yeah.
It was very beautiful. I was just ready for the the joke more so.
I am not the troll.
Yeah.
Well, earlier we said you were them, so.
Uh-oh. So Illumio takes a moment to step outside. What are the rest of you doing?
Trying to go outside, to teleport up to the roof, to jump up.
Trying
You're
to go
not even.
outside.
You're barely getting out of the room.
Trying to go
Yeah, I know,
outside.
that's why I said trying. And I'm still fighting my echoes while trying to do that.
Yeah. It seems that your echoes, while they're still drunk, still have a sense of like sensibility, and so like they're kind of holding you back.
Oh, it's your echoes holding you up as you're being escorted outside.
You're
by
being, dude, you're being weekended at Bernie's, bro.
That's
It's
amazing.
actually incredible.
I will slide up beside Soul.
Yeah, I'm just going through the papers I lost and trying to find some semblance. I don't stop working, that's my problem. But I'm trying to see what I lost and rewrite it, or make it make sense from memory. While I have my trusty cat to keep me company and sipping on the wine.
You know,
Yeah.
why are you doing that? If there's a non-zero chance that we all die tomorrow.
Do you not appreciate history?
History is written by the winners.
Say we
Sure.
win.
If you don't win, what's it worth? If we do win, then you have more than enough time to write about it. You have one night left, theoretically. Is this how you want to spend it?
I don't know anything else. This is all I do. It's all I enjoy.
So, I know who you are, 'cause I am you. And up until about 30 minutes ago, I had never done anything as crazy in my life as jumping off of a 500-foot tall spire.
At least you got to choose.
I did. I was unaware that you didn't.
No.
But
No.
I'm at a point now where I'm realizing how much time I've lost being such a brat. A stick in the mud. And so focused on what's everyone else around me wanted and not focused enough on what I wanted. And I thought I knew. Sorry, I think the red wine's a little stronger than I thought it was.
It's great stuff, though.
It is. I thought I knew. I did. I really did. But you spend 2 weeks alone with someone you'd call a blubbering idiot before you met him. And then afterwards you're strangely endeared to him and you don't want to be. Look, all this to say, your life is gonna come and go, and right now is possibly passing you by. Focusing on what's now, I mean, that's the most important now. This book, and I'll open up the Steel Souls. I mean, it's one of 5 notably published works that my parents have published, and I wave down the mage hand and ask for another drink, and I pour my drink on the book.
What?
It's in circulation, doesn't matter. It's worthless to me.
Didn't you take that from the palace?
Yeah, well, it's in circulation, I'll pay for another one.
Right.
It's more symbolic.
Yeah.
You understand?
There's a moment though in Soul's brain goes, "That was the palace book, though."
Quick interruption. Yanrick is definitely still just very focused on this drink and getting through it. He's loving having a drink like that. But out of the corner of his eye, he notices a drink that is a bit spilled, so he just casts prestidigitation and cleans the book, and then he goes right back to focusing on his drink.
And I'll look at the book and slide it over to Soul. There, it's clean. Look, I'm not gonna hound you, but I think it's important that you choose how you want to spend tonight. And if you want to spend it doing your work, then that's fine. But you have some agency. And that robot out there probably has the best chance of living out of all of us. Not only is he made of steel, but there's a little special something there that I'm not even sure he's aware of. So, but that's between you and I. If you want your story to go on, you tell it to him. And I'll drop out from the stool, and as the mage hand brings me my second drink, I'll snag it and walk towards the main area of the bar.
Fair enough. All of you, though, you take a moment, and we'll get to Yanrick here in a second, but Kane's nowhere to be seen anymore. No one sees Kane. You guys were all lost in your conversation. Kane's gone. Yanrick, is there anything in particular that you're trying to do?
Get through this drink and not.
I think it's so
like that's it.
It's so funny to me that he's tweaking right now, and in his tweak he was like, "Oh, that book's dirty." Clean.
Yeah.
He also picked up my glass to make sure I wouldn't drink from it anymore. So.
It has since joined mine, just so you know. Yanrick loves drinking. It is the one thing, it is the one vice he picked up when he got to the big city from his small hometown village was, he would have an ale or whatever, or a bit of wine at home, but when he got to the big cities with the bars that have, lots and lots of stuff, he really, fell into that, so he's big on drinking. So him having this drink that's because he was also a new adventurer, he doesn't have a lot of money, could buy a lot of the expensive stuff, is mainly ale and grog, so he would just drink more of it. Now that he has this really, really, really nice drink that's kicking his butt, he is just all about being in this experience of drinking this ridiculous beverage. Very much his focus at the moment.
Fair enough. All right. Um, we'll take the scene now here to Illumio. You're outside. Is there anything you're doing in particular outside, or?
Can
And the it's starting to get dark. It's starting to get close to.
Okay, I was gonna ask, yeah, approximately what time it was and whether or not I could see the moon.
You're
It's not late enough for that, right?
no. If you recall, last session, I said that there's always this shadowy
Oh.
overcast. So you take a moment though to still like look up, as if like the clouds
Okay.
are there, but you're still
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of.
So I look
And
up in the direction of where I believe the moon to be,
mhm.
even if it's not necessarily dark enough in a normal place for the moon to be visible. And as everyone else other than Jay knows, I don't have a notebook. I don't have someplace that I'm writing things down. Everything is an audio log that I am constantly keeping track of. And I just kind of have my hands behind my back. Actually, no, I don't do that. I stand kind of leaning up against the side of the building, allowing the cloak of billowing that I have to obviously billow out behind me, trying to pose in a way, even though there's no one around me to view what I'm doing. It's just a force of habit that I learned over the years, even though I'm not really into that anymore. It's just something that I do. But as I look up, I just kind of think to myself and say out loud, it's just interesting how things play out, as I just look up into the sky towards where the moon would be. I hope that after all is said and done, that we can do justice to the things we present ourselves towards and devote ourselves towards. I don't really pray, but if there is anyone listening, let me be not the only one that survives this journey. And that's all.
Well, and you, for a moment, you're just sitting there and you hear a voice reply, I think that is a good prayer. And standing next, not like close to you, but kind of near the front of the building, you see Empress Oda.
And I didn't notice her when I was walking out, or she just
No,
appeared?
she's come up to you while you're taking in this moment.
You were so busy brooding.
She also rolled a nat 20 on her stealth check.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
so no.
Louise would have seen her. Yes.
But she stands here. You do not see Alpha or Zero. You don't see her bodyguards. You don't see the other advisors. She goes, I came to check in on all of you. And I saw you here, just taking in the moment.
Well, all the important ones are on the inside. Except for maybe one of them. Kind of look up towards the roof.
You look up, you don't see anything. Yet. And then she goes, I have lived a long life being an elf. And I can attest that not a single person is any less important than someone else. Be it man, machine, woman, and then like a creature, not a creature, a goblin, like just runs by. Or goblin. We are, in our own ways, unique, and everyone is playing their part in whatever story is being told.
I completely agree with you, and being as wise and as aged as one such as yourself would clearly understand is that although we are all as important as each other, the perception that some have of others is that some are more important than others. And it's the actions of some that influence the perception of others that cause them to believe that others are more important than some. My intention is that regardless of the perception of others, that our actions cause others to have time in the future to continue to have perceptions that others are heroes. Whether that be us or others. That was a very confusing sentence, but it was actually tracked.
Profound, and perhaps not wrong. At the end of the day, people deem myself more important because I am an empress of a nation. But is the kid back at my empire who's sleeping, dreaming of what games he'll play tomorrow, any less important? I don't think so. In fact, I think he is more important. And that is why I'm here. That's why my men, my women, my soldiers, why we are here.
I think we are saying the same thing. I would like it that others, your son or whoever is dreaming of games, have time in the future to be able to do so more often. We would like to lengthen that time and not shorten it.
I would like that as well.
Yeah.
And she starts to cough, and some blood kind of comes up onto her hand, and she goes, "Pardon me. I do apologize. A curse is not to be trifled with. Now, I think we should return to your friends, as I have brought gifts."
Very well. I was just reflecting on the beautiful moonlight that shines upon your clouds above.
I miss it.
Well, perhaps one day you'll see it again.
I'm sure I will. And then, as you guys kind of turn back to the door, you hear a thunk as Kane comes crashing into the snow right in front of you, and then thunk thunk of his two shadows. He's like, he got the good stuff, didn't he?
Of course, of course. I'll go and help him up.
Kane, you're still awake, but you're covered in snow and plaster.
As soon as Illulia comes jumping up, I go, "Can we do that again?"
The Empress has gifts for us. We should go inside and gather them.
As soon as I get up,
It's
that's the way we do it, right, Illumio?
he's bowing to one of his shadows.
That's the way we do it.
That's the way we do it.
As you guys head in, you head back, and the shadows help Kane up the stairs. The Empress walks into the room that you're all in, and she goes, "I'm glad that you have made yourself comfortable enjoying one last Knight of Peace, I cannot promise what your journey tomorrow.
Of course, we're
Well-
going well, could we call it an adventure tomorrow? We need to live life while we still can.
Yes. Yes. Live and party well. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the drink. I bring you all gifts.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
For you, young Yanrick, this medallion,
Oh, hi. I
And
didn't see you
she-
come in.
you kind of sit up, and she puts over a necklace over your head.
What's that?
This is a very special medallion.
Oh,
It is a healer's medallion, and mechanically, what it does is
I'm a healer.
for
Mommy,
your
me.
yeah for your spiritual weapon or your eldritch blast, whatever damage you do in the entire round, half of it you can heal someone else with. Half the damage you can give healing to someone else.
that's a every round kind of thing.
That is an every
Or
round
limited
kind
use.
of thing.
Holy.
It's almost like you're about to fight some big
Oh,
stuff.
I was gonna say you're trying to kill us. God.
No! Buff the healer,
Okay.
kill the party!
Uh, and then, Kane, you are a wild one. At that, I appreciate it. I
Music ended.
recognize your... What?
Said the music ended.
Oh.
I'm sorry. It's just so good. It like causes me to be able to get in the
I
moment.
get you. Kane, I give you one of our greatest creations. I have seen people with your abilities before. And she gives you a small crystallized black dagger. And what's this going to do is it allows your echo to survive 1 round of damage. It also, when you summon your echo near enemies, they take if they're within 10 feet, they take 2d10 necrotic damage.
Good lord. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
You can, you said.
Yep. And our noble paladin, the mighty hammer of the party.
That's me right there.
Are you attached to your hammer?
I mean, it's a good hammer. It's always served me well.
Then let's make sure it serves you even greater.
Oh,
And she puts a little device on the hammer, and it puts kind of like an Iron Man suit for a moment, like on the hammer, increasing its damage die by 1. So I can't remember what damage die it does.
D8, so it goes to a D10. If he's two-handed,
yeah, 1d8.
then D10 to D12.
Oh no, I apologize. Not like so 2d8 or 2d10.
No, alright.
Oh, it just doubles the dice.
Doubles the dice.
Oh boy,
Oh, snap. That's-
And then where did the other note go? I accidentally scrolled. Being a disciple of Theta, I thought it would be fitting that it also represents your beliefs. You, and I can send this to you, you get Gentle Smite.
Gentle smite.
Instead of dealing extra damage, the smite then heals a target. You also get Pacifying Blow. When you strike a creature, and this is, you can use this ability. I'm sorry. Pacifying Blow. You can force a creature to make a Wisdom saving throw, which is DC 10 plus your proficiency plus your Charisma modifier. On a failed save, the creature is calm and cannot take any hostile action for 1 minute or until damaged, or it can, of course, at the end of the turn, redo the Wisdom save. This ability can only be used twice per short rest or long rest.
Oh wow.
So, and I'll send you this stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of fun to do it this way with it. And then the storyteller. You play a vital role. While you do not dance with swords, you find ways to support your colleagues and your team. And I wish to strengthen that support. She gives you a lute, small lute, and this is called Harmony's Embrace. Its first ability, called Echoes of Encouragement. When you use a bardic inspiration, the recipient can roll the bardic inspiration dice twice and pick the higher result.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Amazing.
And that's oh my god, that's with if we fail, we keep the inspiration.
Yeah.
That is so good.
The other thing is when you cast any spell that you cast, any healing spell that you cast, you do an additional 1d8 to the amount healed. No matter if the healing does like 5d10, you can do an additional 1d8. And then the last one is, as a bonus action, you can play the lute, and all allies within 30 feet gain advantage on their next attack, and gain advantage on their next saving throw. This can only be used twice long rest. And I'll send this all to you. And then the great inventor. I do believe you have already gathered some strength from our resources. But let us provide one sense of technology. And she hands you a small trinket. And she goes, if you ever find that Lockheed is close to breaking down, press the button and you'll find some restorative properties. And all it is it's kind of a self-heal. If you press the button, Lockheed regains 10d10 HP.
Wow.
Is that action, bonus action?
That's a good question. That is a bonus action.
Ooh.
That's
It can only be used
crazy.
once per long rest.
I do have to say though,
Still.
it's scary that Chris is buffing the healing.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm kind of
Um,
sad.
Unfortunately, sorry, Soul.
Yeah.
I've had these gifts planned for a minute, so I didn't get a chance to plan yours. So that will be retconned moving forward.
That's fine. I mean,
Once we also talk about, because
2
I tried
hours
to
ago.
gear
I mean,
items
2 hours ago.
towards kind of
Hours
your
ago.
guys' play styles with your characters. So if you find that, like, if you're like, I don't think this really fits, let me know. I have no problem being told, this doesn't really work for how I play my character. So.
Fair.
And quick question, I wanted just a clarification for like you said, and my echo like can survive 1 round. Is it like if I get hit, because it only has 1 HP, I need to be hit again, or is it just like for that 1 round?
So
continue afterward.
So that's a great question. I guess I didn't really write how I wanted it to work, but mechanically, what I was thinking is let's say it takes damage, you can either let it take the damage, or you can be like it steals itself, and then until the start of your next turn, it can't be defeated.
Oh, all right, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, is it once per long rest or is it
With that one, it is once per short rest.
per short rest? All right.
I also wanted to double check something. The
Yep.
healing, you said it was either Eldritch Blast or Spiritual Weapon, not both.
I couldn't remember like how much you used one or the other, so I am open to. I'm trying to remember how much you used. So I think I originally did either because it's been a minute since we've done combat. But
Mhm.
I think you don't do Eldritch Blast as much as Kane does. So we're
Yeah.
gonna retcon it to all the damage between Eldritch Blast and spiritual weapon.
Okay, so either of them in a turn. And is there a range to how close it would need to be for me to spread the healing to them?
Nope.
Okay.
Cross dimensionally.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my
Somewhere
mom
out there,
broken
my
leg.
friend.
Wait, you can hail Raven's feet.
I'll say Garen in the other realm. Huh? I've been healed. um, and you all, by eating and drinking, benefit from Hero's Rest for the next Hero's Feast for the next
Oh.
24 hours.
Oh, so
Ooh, nice.
immunity to fear, poison damage, and some temp HP. Right?
Wait,
Yep.
so are we resting?
Immunity to fear.
We will, I think.
We will, yeah. I mean, you're
You said
right,
24
you're not
hours.
heading out until tomorrow.
Immunity to poison.
Yeah.
And I can post what it does.
Disease, poison.
Advantage on
Well,
wisdom
disease
saving
and
throws.
poison or cure. You're immune to poison and being frightened. Take all. You make all wisdom saving throws with advantage.
Yeah.
Your hit point maximum increases by 2d10, and you gain the same number of hit points, and that lasts for 24 hours.
So should we roll our 2d10 now or whenever we rest? That's what you're saying?
I would say now while we're thinking about it, so that way we don't forget.
We all gain the same amount, or is it different for everyone?
It's just everyone rolls their own.
Oh,
Dang.
let's go.
I rolled a 4.
Oh,
Oh.
I think
Yeah,
normally
18.
how it works is whoever created the spell rolls it, but for the
Yeah.
sake of how this is going, we'll just have everybody roll their own. Yanrick, that's nice.
Yeah. 2 9s.
Olumio, I'm sorry.
Yep.
2d10.
Yep.
Hey, that's pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Pretty
it's been nice knowing you guys.
good.
And just so for next week, just for next week, since
We're done
I'm
yet.
most likely not gonna be here, my HP is changed, and for the stuff for the dagger does in my inventory, just so you remember it easily. There's an item, black dagger. The description says what it.
Gotcha.
How do I
Yep.
modify it so that I just have to override max HP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the modifier.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
but
changed my whole
since-
sheet. Like, I just added immunity to frighten and poison, just so I don't forget.
Yeah. Gotta remember to pick it off.
All right.
And she goes, it goes, enjoy your last night of guaranteed peace. As you will adventure on perhaps one of the toughest journeys. I bid you
You don't have to
farewell.
tell me twice. Use consciousness on the table.
I bid you farewell, and I will see you off in the morning. And she heads out, and you hear one of the barmaids starts to sing as all the guardsmen and all the soldiers kind of take a moment and steel themselves because for them, they are nervous. The future, the journey, the sacrifices, all depends. Was it for vain? Depends on your actions tomorrow. And you guys are able to enjoy a good feast and some good drink. And eventually you make your way back to you find your room. Soul is able to guide you back to your rooms. Some of you carrying Kane. You take a good rest and you're able to have a good night's sleep. A moment of peace. It's almost if the Hero's Feast, that immunity to fear and frighten, has blessed you with a good night's sleep. And there's a sense of peaceful quiet that approaches the city. And in the morning, in the morning, you're all awoken, as a boulder comes flying through, crashing, taking out part of your tower.
A boulder?
A boulder. And you
The
hear
boulder.
the door swings open, and standing in front of you is Alpha, and he speaks up. We are under siege. We need you at the walls. We're outnumbered. And that's where we'll end today's episode.
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
Did the boulder go through the gate by any chance?
So, I guess at the end we'll just go to the room and then bring them to as fast as possible via teleportation to where we need to be.
Now
But we woke up. We woke up in our rooms to the boulder crashing into the building that we're
Yeah,
in, right?
yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
And now we need to find the blind bandit, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Lumio never even got to hear that story.
No.
We'll have to RP it next session at some point if we're still alive. Who knows what happens?
I'm
I want
thinking
to.
because I was thinking of not playing next week as like Christmas time finally around. I'm like, I want to play.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Hey, Chris, can you wrap us up for the video?
Yeah, I said that's where we'll end our episode.
And then we immediately started talking afterwards. Okay, that's
We
fine.
were thinking, Joe. That's where we'll end our episode.
Okay.